I told you it's your turn to buy some.
When did you fucking tell me? Oh, so you guys drink the tequila? I'm not here. You guys drink all the fucking tequila, and I have to bring some back?
Wait,
Yeah, that's how
I'm
it
back,
works.
and guess who
Why
is
does
the
that
bitch
not make
again
sense?
that has to take care of all of you guys?
God, man. Well, see,
You know
Lena
what?
brought
I'm
whiskey. That's cool.
I'm done. I don't need this shit. I'm out of here. Bye, guys.
Actually, I have. I got moonshine. Some
You got
peach moonshine inside the car that I'm not going to give none the fuck of a JJ.
You got
What the
moonshine
hell?
or moonshine?
Moonshine. No, it's moonshine. It's Bobo's son brought it from Utah, from one of the Indian
Oh, so it's
reservations.
That's right, because
That's
those
like
Mormons
legit.
make
That is
those
legit shit.
Mormons make those
Yeah.
freaking moonshine like no tomorrow.
Yeah, no, this is not shelf bought. It's actually in a little mason jar, and it's all.
Yeah, I
tightened
think
up.
that shit's funny, dude. You can now go to Bevmo and buy a mason jar full of
Whoa!
moonshine.
Whoa!
And it tastes like
why,
shit.
Why do you have to cuss and say Bevmo here?
Right? What the fuck?
It tastes. That's,
Do you not know where I work? I work at Total Wine. Why are you fucking saying Bevmo?
Oh, Bevmo's
He gets-
awesome. Did you know they have a huge sale going on right now?
There goes my last fuck.
But you know, any
You
of
know what?
that,
I am not giving you employee discount anymore, but JJ.
any of that moonshine stuff.
You know, look
that
at
you,
this.
That you buy over the shelf.
Yeah, the store-bought stuff is the same proof as.
Look at it. There she goes. There she goes.
Back for like 7 minutes.
It tastes like shit. It's not moonshine. It's like Mezcal tequila with the worm in it. It tastes like shit.
Yeah,
And that's the
called
same thing as
Mezcal.
that.
Freaking wannabe beaner.
It's
It's
watered
mezcal.
down moonshine at best.
Rat. Yeah, because when it says 80 proof, I'm like going, it's not moonshine.
Yeah, that's not moonshine.
Okay,
No.
so
'Cause, you know,
Zig
this-
wants some.
It should be able to peel paint.
I know my
It's
friend wants
moonshine
some.
flavored corn whiskey.
Well, I'll go down and I'll grab it after I have to take a piss, which won't be long because
You know I do have a
missed.
car.
Well, I
mean,
missed.
geez.
I missed last Monday, and I was completely like gone for like an entire. Well, the last weekend I was gone because I was at the track. But man, I worked in Van Nuys. On the way home, I stopped at a Mexican restaurant that I have been eating at for years. Only had the carne asada burrito. That's the only thing I've ever eaten there. Years, and that's the only thing I've eaten. This time I'm like going, you know what? I think I'll have a lingua. But you know, I'm standing in line, and there's people in front of me, and then I'll be like,
Lingua.
nah, I'll just stick with the tried and true. Yeah, no, I think a lingua burrito sounds good. No, I'll take the tried and true. And I kept going, you know, debating with myself. So once I got in line, now I was at I'll try the lingua. And then so when she goes, what would you like? I'll have a lingua burrito and a carne asada burrito because I was getting one for Dylan. You know what? That was absolutely the worst decision of my life because Sunday when I went back to work and I'm sitting there teaching the class, right about 11:30, 12-ish, I started feeling this like, you know, like the burble, like, okay, this is going to be a nasty shit later. You know what I mean?
The bubble guts.
Right.
All been there.
Then all of a sudden I started kind of feeling feverish.
We need,
And I'm
more
like going,
sound
wait a second,
effects for this.
that's not right. Get home on Sunday night, and I'm like, then I'm feeling like even worse. And so then I take a dump, but it's still not enough. And then I wake up my intestines decide to wake me about 2-3 o'clock, and man, I swear to God, any of you guys ever had appendicitis?
Negative.
Appendicitis? You ever had it?
Negative.
No? Lena?
No.
I've had
Freight
food
train?
poisoning, but not
Okay.
that.
Well, let me tell you something. If any of you out there have had appendicitis, it literally makes you curl up like this. I mean, your insides hurt so bad. I mean, it's just the ungodly worst feeling on the planet. And that's exactly what it was. I mean, I curled up into a ball. I'm like, oh my God, you know. So I'm thinking, okay, that was just a really bad brew. I'll shit it out, you know, a little bit. So I took some, some Tums, like about, 10 of them,
It's good to have a positive attitude.
and then got up in the morning, man, did my thing, felt a little bit better, but was still just really bad. And then throughout the day was sweating, fever, and I'm like, dude, something's not right. And then it got worse. And I'm like, okay, it's got to pass. I'll just keep popping Tums. And then Tuesday, went to work, sweating balls. Now, no bowel movement. And
Because there's nothing solid
dude,
left.
and I swear to God, my belly looked. I mean, it just like swelled up. You know.
All bad.
Yeah, all bad.
You needed a ding dong.
I ended up in the hospital early Wednesday morning.
Oh wow.
And you know what the doctors? He's like going, well, when's time you had last bowel movement? I said like 2 days ago. He's like, or like Monday morning. Well, yeah, it would have been 2 days ago. And he's like, oh, and he's feeling my gut, and anywhere he touched, it hurt. I mean, like bad. And he's like going, you know, you might have blockage. So we're gonna do some X-rays, and if you are, we have to send you to the hospital immediately to have surgery.
What?
I'm like, what? You know, like Scooby-Doo. You know?
You could have asked Tiffany. Tiffany could have done a ding dong for you.
Cheers. I've never. You know what? This better be some good fucking whiskey because we had California distilleries here, and
Same.
Deal with it. It's cold.
It is cold.
not bad.
Not bad. That's smooth.
Not bad. That's smooth. And Lena takes it out of the bottle.
I got that from work. I'm not really.
Oh, okay. She's like, oh yeah.
Hold on. I'll do my promo real quick. It's Kavanaugh. It's way better than Jameson. It's lighter. It's smooth. It's Kavanaugh. It's way better than Jameson. Jameson is heavy and it sucks. This one's a way lighter, smoother. Probably at the end of the night and I have to pick work hubby up after here, so probably tomorrow morning you could probably cut my arm and I'll probably just be all Kavanaugh.
Nice.
Work hubby fun.
Nice.
Can we just not talk about anything related to that name for like a day?
What's that?
Kavanaugh.
Oh, so anyways, so then they do the X-rays. I come back out. Well, actually, but then I tell back to Monday. I tell them, dude, guys, I can't make it. I'm feeling like shit.
I knew it had to be bad if you're not coming here. I was
Right?
like,
To
if
do my
Zig
own
not
fucking
come here,
show?
It's got to be
He
serious.
felt like shit, but he couldn't shit.
Right? Da-dum-dum.
That's what killed Elvis. That's
Yeah.
serious shit, man.
And then Scott's texting me. Oh, suck it up, man. Like, fuck you, dude. I'm fucking bad. So, anyways, the doctor, they do the X-rays, and then he comes walking. And he goes, "Well, I have good news for you."
You don't need surgery.
I'm like, "Okay, well, what's the good news?" He goes, "Well, you don't need surgery. You don't have any blockage." I'm like, "Awesome." He goes, "But you have like one of the most severe cases of food poisoning." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "It's really severe when you get distended."
Distended.
Yeah, as you are. He says everything's so swollen. He goes, and one lucky thing, because when they do a urine test and stuff, he goes, you're not pissing blood, because a lot of times people urinate blood because they're so swollen and it's squeezing, your whatever. And I'm like going, oh my God, and you're not doing projectile vomiting, blah blah blah. So I kept drinking water. I knew I had to have water.
Yeah.
So
you had parvo, bro.
Right.
You just gotta stay
pretty
hydrated.
much.
Just Pedialyte till you die.
Right. So he goes, he's like, okay, well, just I'm gonna give you subscription of for what is it, antibiotic?
Yep.
Right. Walked out, got to the pharmacy. Did this. They handed it to me. I went out of the water fountain, man, and popped one. That night, did my other one before I went to bed. That night, or next morning, woke up about 3 o'clock, dude. Took a leak. Felt a lot better. Laid down in bed. Dude, I let out the most horrendous fart. I could have filled up a fucking air balloon, and I swear to God, I could feel my entire fucking intestine. It was just like, whoa. I'm like, oh my God. Dude, my dog was laying there like this, and he's like, huh? What was that? He's like,
That's how you.
so, anyways, I actually ended up going through that, and I still wasn't thinking I was going to make it to the most awesome weekend I've had in fucking years. And but you know what? I woke up Thursday feeling really good. Jordy showed up at the shop. We load up the stuff, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. And Friday morning, woke up, and I was just like, it's time. It's time to fucking get this on. Even though I still had a lot of discomfort, I was still very bloated, So I couldn't, getting getting my body position over. Anything touching my abdomen touching my tank hurt, but it was still good enough to stay on the track. So it was me, Chris Walsh, Redial, and then we had Jordy, Freight Train. Who else? Christy, yes. Diesel Dave, Dan the Man. I call him Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. We had.
That was a really shitty wrestler's name, so don't do that.
No, we're talking about from The Matrix.
Yes.
Well, no, there's a wrestler
The Matrix.
like Mr. Anderson.
Fuck wrestling. Fuck wrestling.
Wow.
That's fake
Here we go
bullshit.
again.
Fake news.
Fuck
Fake
this
news.
bullshit.
It's pronounced
You start talking about wrestling, man. Lena's gonna come over here with that big ass sword if they brought
She's
it
gonna go over here
here.
and hit me in the head with the chair. Watch.
Right.
Bam.
She's gonna suplex us.
We
My
had
back is out. I
Jim
can't.
from the motorcycle training in Paris. If anybody wants to keep on pumping off names, we had Larry Misman.
Larry's
Our
fucking
boss.
awesome.
Yes, yeah,
Lee
Ali, Dave, Lee Parks. Well, of course, Lee Parks in there. Adam Herzing, yes. I was surprised Dave Bianco wasn't there, but I guess he wasn't feeling well.
He was there, but
Not on Friday.
No, he was
Not on Friday. He was
laid
there
up
on
sick.
Saturday. Yeah, he
You
was.
know why he wasn't there, right?
Laid up sick.
Why was he not there?
Oh, damn it.
Is he chiming in? I don't know.
Right.
I haven't read any comments yet. I'll start reading the comments here shortly.
He was in the
Yeah,
toilet,
Nick
too.
DeVol.
Listen.
But he wasn't riding though.
He had food poisoning as well.
Yeah, he broke his collarbone. Right?
Yeah.
Mountain barking.
Mountain barking.
Can go figure? Nick DeVol breaks his collarbone on a mountain bike,
On a bicycle.
but on a bicycle. But he goes around the track at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Go figure. But
All the fine guys I work with too.
I've learned that it's harder.
yeah,
Well, they
and
weren't there Friday though.
no, I'm talking about
Talk into
Friday.
the mic,
I'm talking
man.
about Friday. So we did an instructor track day,
Yes.
and it was just so awesome. I love being around.
Oh,
Just-
Sanner was the other one.
Sanner, yep, Dave Sanner. Shout out to Dave Sanner, man.
James.
It was really good seeing it. And he
James.
came from
James.
His name is James.
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 That's what I said.
You said Dave. You suck.
Did I say Dave? I'm sorry, man.
There was at
I'm
least like
sorry.
7 Daves there.
James
Yeah.
Sanner.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's-
there is. There's
It's so much
always
fun to
10
have
Daves.
all the Daves in attendance.
Dave's not here. But no, James Sanner.
I
Shout
can't
out to
do that, Dave.
Shout out to my buddy James because he came from Northern California
Yeah.
down to spend time with us in Southern California.
Well, no shit. That's the only guy I know that has one eye and still rides motorcycles faster than any fucking guy I know.
Right?
Like, I can't catch him. Doesn't matter what bike he's on, I can't catch him.
Yeah.
Pisses me off
And
every
he was
time.
riding everybody's bike. I'm sitting there,
Yeah.
and I'll be watching the track, and hey, wait.
There goes James.
There goes James on a Cowie. And like another
Oh, there
section.
goes James on the
There
XR.
goes- yeah. And then,
Oh, there goes James on a Dyna. What the fuck?
What
See,
the hell?
He came over to our trailer and he was like, yeah, he's like, man, I'm just whoring out all the bikes.
Yeah,
He
fuck it.
was,
Why
man. He
not?
was having a blast.
Talk on the mic, man. We can't hear you, Mr. Calloway.
Which is
Yes.
which is why
How about
we
right
there?
talked.
That's better, yeah.
There we
Yeah,
go.
buddy.
Yes, swallow.
Just
swallow
put
that
it
thing,
in your
Chris.
mouth.
Hey, where was Vince on Friday? He wasn't on the track, was he? I saw Vince.
Vince
over the weekend.
Grava?
Yeah.
No, he
Vince
was not.
wasn't there that
He
weekend.
wasn't there for that.
He wasn't there
He
Friday.
was there, I
He was
saw
there Saturday.
part of it.
Yeah.
Mike Polero, Patty.
Yeah, Mike Polero. Yes,
Yeah,
Patty.
Fuck, everybody was there.
Patty.
And
Twain.
if you happen to hear me fart, guys, I'm still just passing air. It will not smell. I swear to God.
Stop sharing.
And if it does, I'll let you guys
TMI,
fucking
don't need to
smack me
know.
upside the head.
Stop sharing.
Okay.
Just really.
I'm just saying I'm
anybody-
not going to step and walk out of the room because I have some
If,
fucking
if
air.
anybody
It's-
farts, we'll blame it on Zig.
I'm
It's all
telling you,
good.
I'm still getting over this shit, dude. I
Green
swear to
light.
God, dude, I'm still trying to figure out how to really slam this fucking restaurant, man. Because I wouldn't wish that on anybody. If I was really
What restaurant was that,
Wait,
Jake?
you were in the valley? Wait,
let me tell you
where
something.
in the valley were you? Because I'll tell you.
yeah, where should we
it's
never
right off
eat
the
again?
60 and Hacienda. I can't think of the name right now, but I still have my receipt. So, but let me put it this
It's
way:
Where in the valley?
If-
What valley?
if
Van
if
Nuys.
Oh, okay.
if
No,
no,
he
no,
said Van
I was
Nuys, and
coming
then he
from
was
Van
in
Nuys.
Hacienda Heights.
So you were
It's
in
off.
my valley. San
It's in
Gabriel Valley.
Hacienda Heights. Is
Oh,
where this
yeah, so
restaurant
you're
is.
near my place. What?
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so go there then.
All right. So let's say that Redial walked up to my Harley and just kicked it over. I'd be really pissed, but I still wouldn't wish that on him. That's how bad this felt, and I wouldn't even wish that on him. You know what I mean? I'm
Wow.
talking about.
It was so
It
bad.
that
You're like,
bad.
no, I would rather kick you in the dick So that
Yes.
you never had to feel this pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if I kicked him in the dick, at
I'd
least
get over it.
he'd get over it in
Yeah.
about an hour.
Yeah.
Dude, we're talking 5 fucking days, and I'm still kind of like sensitive in my fucking
He's
intestinal
sensitive,
area. Dude.
I would wish that on my neighbor times 10.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yes.
Instead of playing the drums to piss him off.
Right. And
Or
we
your-
need
or
to
your-
have
or your ex.
a band practice at my house one night, just to serenade him.
Right.
Show him what music's all about.
Yeah. Get my band over there, man.
Is
It's,
it
Chris
Pepe's?
already said, hey, dude, you want to come over now,
Pepe's?
have a party, man?
Hell
Have your
yeah.
band come? I'm like, fuck yeah.
I have a few of them here. Was Pepe's one of them?
Pepe's?
Or
Peepees?
Hacienda Grill?
I don't know.
You
know what I'm saying?
Cortez
Diesel
Brothers?
Dave says, he says he says, what do he say? He says, Zig, your shit may not stink, but your farts will give you away.
This is way too much information.
Maybe he was downwind from me. I passed a couple that probably had a scent dump. It's probably that Caesar salad I had at lunch down at the Willow Springs Cafe.
Actually-
I think I did sell something really bad on the track when I was following you.
Totally honest,
I was
dude.
even
gonna say,
my
that's what that
GoPro
smell
got
was going
fogged
around
up.
the track.
I was actually kind of excited because Lee was out riding on the track with us. And I know the dude's going to pass me every time he gets on the track. But he burns really nice race fuel.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I actually
it
don't
does
mind
smell
because
good.
then I can follow him for a split second and
smells.
smell the race exhaust. I'm like, oh, not so bad.
Right?
And it pisses me off because he's always so graceful when he passes you. It doesn't look aggressive in any kind of way. He's just like tra-la-lawing around you
On a 150.
on a
It's-
fucking 150. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, come on. You're making me look bad.
Right?
He was talking to me about I'm trying to think of the name.
He's
I've
smooth.
heard.
Quinn
Yeah.
Redeker
Yeah.
came out, and he swore that he'll take his 450 Husky and beat him on his 150. And Lee's like, deal.
Good luck.
So he
I
put
would
him on
I
his
would actually
450.
pay for that
I would
video.
pay to see that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And of course, Lee still beat him on his 150.
Shocker.
even
Oh, he
though-
did?
Yes.
I didn't
Even
see
though
it.
Quinn was on his 450, couldn't stay with him.
I'm not surprised.
Dude, I was up in observation point, dude. I swear to God, that was the best time that Chris and Lee had together because,
was
dude,
awesome.
we're talking now.
It was
Now,
epic.
mind you, now Chris is riding an R1. Now it's still a big bike for a horse thief,
Yeah, it's a big bike.
but the pull, because he's going up, coming out of the I call it the apex nipple, okay,
Apex nipple.
right?
Apex
turn
nipple.
2-3, you know.
2-3.
That one's
Yeah,
fun.
and he just get on the gas, and it would just naturally the front end would just come right up. So he's got a lot of pull, and coming out of turn 13, a lot of pull, right? But I'm telling you, once you get in the twisty bits, Lee just and like
He
Rito
can turn
said,
in
he's
so
just
quick.
so smooth. He's
Yeah.
and just and I'm like, fuck, man. And then Lee would just pass him, then you'd pass him, then he'd pass you,
He'd
then
pass
you,
me.
it was back and forth. I'm like
It
going,
was
fuck.
epic. Yeah, it was.
And dude, I wish I had my phone took a shit on me, man. I was like, I want to fucking
would be the
record
first time.
this. Look at this.
Yeah.
An R1 against a 150, man. But like
Lee,
you said,
Lee,
Lee's
Lee was talking about that when he came off the track. He was like beaming. He was like, "Oh, that was fun." I don't know who the guy is on the R1, but that was a blast. I really he gave a run for his money. And he was loving that. And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's Chris, all right. If anybody can ride a leader bike, and not many people can ride a leader bike on a small track,
right.
but that's Chris over here.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
Chris is really
God.
Chris has got it going on. Although there was a couple
Thank you
times.
guys. Thank you guys.
There was a couple times, man. You came out turn 5, man, and you went right because you had to pass somebody. Man, I was looking, and you came on the outside, dude. I swear that the edge of the track was
Edge of
this.
the track.
Was this? I'm like going,
Yeah.
oh, it made me pucker.
Yeah.
Apparently,
You know?
I rode off the
And I'm like,
track.
oh, did you?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I went to pass Jim. It was like me, Jim, and Diesel
the track.
Dave.
Jim and Cerritos or Jim on the Harley?
Jim on the Harley.
Oh, from Paris. Okay.
Yeah. And so I was coming into turn 5, and I was like, this guy is taking me off. So I stuffed him on the inside. And then apparently I went a little wide coming off of turn 5 into turn 6, and I didn't feel it. But he's like, I saw dust come up. I'm like, I think it was just my exhaust like blowing some of the dirt off the track. I don't think I actually hit
when
the
I was
dirt.
following you, I've actually followed. It should have some video of you. I
Oh yeah.
got hours of video on my
yeah.
GoPros, but dude, yeah, it was. Your exhaust was blowing dirt.
Yeah, it's
It's
great.
great.
I fucking love that exhaust. Like,
Well, the best
shout
part-
out to fucking Nick from Norseman Performance because he did that shit in his garage. It was awesome.
When I was flagging up at turn 8, every time you'd come around there and your pipes were going,
Oh, it makes me so sad.
and I know you're looking at the bottom of your pipes now, going,
Yeah, because it used to have this bitchin' like 2-inch little ducktail that came off the side, but the exhaust dumps out, and the exhaust dumps out straight, and then the little ducktail just bends out at like almost a 90.
Right.
And now it's mostly fucking gone.
And leave it that way.
Whatever. Because then when I
Right.
pull up on people and they look, they're like, "Oh shit, you lean." I'm like,
Right.
"Well, yeah."
Right.
Yeah, but redial. But the end of Friday session, you weren't dragging shit. You were
Right,
probably
that's
going
what's
twice as
exciting.
fast.
Yeah, that's I could tell when I'm dragging parts that I'm getting tired.
Well, that's and I got the session because I was recording him. I had my my little GoPro.
Yeah.
And I followed him and Jordy, and yeah, got some really good video. But yeah, I swear to God, dude, it's like outside like Dave Rusk and Jim they on the Harleys, they just really they're like Tweedledee and Tweedledum, man. Them guys get it. Cranking up the music and just getting on those big ass fat Harleys. But I swear to God, that Redal is a smooth son of a bitch, man. When he gets off, he gets his fucking leg off, his ass off that seat.
Yeah, I'm sitting on the
And
saddlebags.
He's just like, you know, and I'm like, yeah, it looks good. So I haven't downloaded it yet. I'm you know,
it's
I
there
got home last
somewhere.
night. I was just too tired, and
I'm dying for
plus
all the
I had
pictures
the
and shit.
pictures from my day on Sunday at Streets, which was awesome also.
That's cool. We should have a shit ton of pictures because Karina was there Friday, and then Charlie from AMO was out there Saturday, Sunday.
Cool.
And he took like 2,200 pictures.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
He was taking pictures of everybody.
and CHP was out there taking pictures too. He came out on the track,
Yeah, he was.
Sunday, and he
Yeah,
was
they
taking
were.
some
Both of them were
pictures.
taking a ton. They were up
Yeah.
there by the water tower, and sometimes they were
Oh,
out
that's
there on
right.
the track
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the corners. They, in fact, Nick took them all over the place on Friday, and the Razor and was all over taking
up on the
pictures
hill
in
and
different
stuff?
areas. So
Cool.
Nice.
That'll be
I don't know who
exciting.
it was older white gentleman with kind of gray hair.
Closer.
And he,
There you go.
He said his wife, I think, was out on the track, but she captured a picture of me wheeling past somebody, and it
was
was
the
the
guy in the
most
Husky,
awesome
yeah.
picture.
There
But-
is nothing more
Man.
fucked up than going, not only am I being passed, but I'm being passed on one wheel.
Ah, right.
and it was a nice.
I would throw a
11
fucking
o'clock
fist or
Willie. It was
a
awesome.
foot. Like, no. No.
But I know there's some great pictures of everybody floating out there, and the best.
Yeah, that'll be
best
dope.
when
You know the best
when you're
part?
coming up there and you're giving the metal horns and you're out like this and going into the turn. It was so rad.
Yeah, I
you know
dig
the
it.
best part? You can hear Chris coming.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can.
yeah.
I just put
Snap
in
crackle
like,
popping on the way down
I
the
just put in
decel.
like 4 hot laps, and I was getting tired,
Yeah.
and I heard Chris coming, and I was like,
I'm done.
I was ready. I was committing 9. I was coming into 9, going, all right, I'm gonna pit and go shake out my arms and get some water because I was sweating, and I'm like,
No.
But I hear the R1. What do I do? What do I do? I put it on. I'm like, I'm thinking to myself between turns 9 and 10. I'm going, I don't stand a chance anyways. He's gonna blow by me at 13, 14, and I won't. It'll be pointless to stay on another lap.
I don't know who
Right?
that. There was a female that was there on Friday, and I passed her a couple times. And I always
Which
felt
one,
really
dude? It
bad.
was like
What kind of
3
bike?
It was a small bike, like maybe a 250.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because it was probably Chris's wife.
No, this was like a 250.
Because Christy was hauling ass.
Yeah, and it was, I felt bad because I'd get up on her ass, and my bike's big and it's loud, and I know she could see me in her mirrors, and then I passed her on the outside like 2 or 3 times.
Was she
I was like-
it was a black 250.
I
She was
think
in
it was
black,
like a
No, I
little
know who it
250
is.
something. I
black
don't know.
suit, black helmet.
Yeah,
yeah. I know. I don't know.
I don't remember her name.
Was it Kate?
Anyway, maybe
No.
I don't know.
Oh no, Kate was on a smaller bike.
Yeah, I can't remember, but I remember passing her a bunch of times, and I felt really bad because I always pass her on some kind of right turn. So that's the side my exhaust dumps out on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, bah! Sorry, I have to pass someone. And then that fucking whoever was on that clapped out VFR that was missing half of its fairings.
Yeah.
That dude took me on 7 or 9 every fucking time. He
That's
stuffed
Frank-
me on the inside.
That's Frank
Like,
Caridi.
Damn it!
Dude, he was rocking
So
that old
mad.
school, dude.
Because he
Yeah,
has more
Frank
ground
and-
clearance than me, so he could
Yeah.
get in on that inside line. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
Yeah,
Kate-
that
Katie
was
on the black
what was
250.
it was an 86 VFR 750, right?
something like that. It's one of those
Yeah.
old schools.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's had it for a long time.
Obviously.
He was just kicking the
knows
crap
that
out of me, dude.
motorcycle. Yeah.
It bummed
he
me
was-
out.
Were you on the hardball?
No, I was on the cross country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the big bagger.
Yeah. No, he did that. The
No,
hard.
the high ball has even less ground clearance.
Yeah, you can't take that one on a
Yeah,
track.
I
That
could, but it's
It
too
wouldn't
low.
be any fun. You wouldn't have the same amount of fun.
If we had gotten that other shock, the extended shock, it would have had better ground clearance.
I don't know. I think that one has more of a rake too.
It does, yeah.
See, then I don't think you'd have as much fun.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I've been out on that track on that bike though.
Have you? But it's still
When
not
it was
as
still
much
black.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still not as much
you
fun.
You looked really comfortable on the bike. You were
I really am.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Fucking, I love the cross country, and Mike can attest to that too. Like that bike is so fucking comfortable.
Yeah, that bike fits you.
it's just great. He's going on his first long distance trip coming up
and they
here.
handle well.
Yeah, that's right. You're going
they
to
Sedona and the Grand Canyon.
next week, huh?
Yeah, I'm leaving on Thursday. Thursday morning. I'll be back Sunday.
And you ride
Sunday. Cross country tour.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sexy bike.
That I just got done fixing because he fucked it up.
What'd you do?
I did not.
What'd you do this time?
I was splitting lanes. The guy pushed over, hit my handlebars with his
Damn
mirror,
it.
and I kind of pinballed my way over to the right hand side.
Been there.
And luckily, I kept it up until I got to the shoulder.
On that right on the fairing on the right side where it kind of bat wings out to a tip.
Yeah.
I got ping ponged by somebody. His mirror hit my fairing and like left a hairline crack. And I'm like, well, fuck.
Well,
if I try and paint it, it's gonna be obvious.
I bent the highway bar.
Oh, damn it.
No, he bent that fucking bar
Yeah.
good, man. I was like, holy shit. We had to replace pretty much almost everything on the left hand
Yeah,
side.
the fairing, the lining,
Yeah.
the bar.
Because
But
he
that's
bought
okay.
the parts and then
I
and then,
stayed
and then
up.
he's,
As long
Yeah.
as you're okay.
I was
And then-
really proud of myself.
he bought the parts and then I took it apart.
Perks
I said,
of riding a
wait,
tank.
Wait a second, we
Yeah.
still need this part too.
Well, it's that section of the 15 where they got all that construction going on.
I hate the 15 now.
Well, I don't do that in that area at all.
yeah.
There's just no room.
Fucking California highways, dude. There's always construction somewhere. Pisses me off. Just be done
I'm
building
still trying to
freeways.
figure out
It'll
how they're
never
going to
be
widen
done,
that
dude.
thing because there's that section between 6th Avenue where it's actually two bridges that are going over the water.
Yeah.
Yet they're filling it in everywhere. There's no way to fill that in. What the hell are they going to do? 3 lanes, 2 lanes,
I don't
4
know.
lanes, back to 3 lanes?
I don't know.
Be all fucked up.
Build a new
retarded.
bridge and like to take everything over. The thing is, with California construction, you got to realize everybody has to come in with the lowest bid and then play the change order game. So
Yeah.
then, like, you start the construction, then you pull all your people off the job for 6 months while you're renegotiating everything, and then everybody's mad, and then they're ready to like pay you millions more dollars.
Well, they're getting a lot of work done there. But
Hey,
it's still-
Grieva just chimed in and said Frank was the only guy to get past him on his Conqueror 14.
Dave Wagner says what's up.
Well, you got to figure one. Vince Grieve is a retired PD, and he's also training officer, and it's all different levels of blah blah blah. You know what I mean? And does the slow ride course, which Vince remind us when you're going to be doing the slow ride course, and I'll go ahead and
October 27th.
is October
Yep,
20th. There you
October
go.
27th.
And
for those of you that don't know shit about that,
me and
that
Rita are
fucking-
working right next.
Yeah, I'm
door,
so pissed. Every
fuck,
every
Vince?
every time he schedules one, it's the first weekend of the month, and I'm like, well, damn it, I'm busy. And then this one was the last weekend of October, so I'm like, cool. And then I check my schedule, I'm like, fuck.
I don't want
Damn
to work
it!
with Zig. I'd rather take the slow ride course.
Well,
Fuck Zig.
it wouldn't be so bad, except now I have to stand there and watch, and not participate.
Right?
That's messed up.
I mean, we've.
But you have the classrooms.
actually,
Maybe I'll take the first half.
We've done two. All right,
Vince,
We've
I know
done-
you're
we've done
listening.
two
So,
ranges when
just
Vince.
what time does your thing start and end? Because I don't have to be on the range until like halfway through the day, because Zig's teaching the classrooms.
Well, when I did it, I think it was about 8 to
Oh,
3.
but you have to do the whole
Yeah.
thing though. Yeah.
Well, even still,
actually,
like-
yeah. America Mike took the whole course.
That's right. You did take that course. I was watching.
because
it.
you and I were teaching that.
Yeah.
It was like-
Well,
That was
he
good
always
for a
has
few
some
laps.
I was
teaching
watching.
together.
It was good.
Was it like 10 to 4 or something?
So
Something
what,
like that,
what'd
yeah.
you
No, it was earlier than
Go
that.
ahead, remind
8
us
to
what you
3 or
thought
something.
about that course.
Oh, it was great. I can't do any of that shit, but it was great. Well, I think part
But
of
you
it
tried.
is when I try to turn this way, I just don't have enough this way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the handlebars need to be closer or because I feel like I'm reaching way out. I don't know. It's just
Oh, see, mine's
or
even
maybe I'm
worse.
just too afraid to turn the damn handlebars.
Yeah. That's
probably half
typically
of it.
yeah. Most of it is just like for me because I've got the 14-inch apes. If I full lock the bar, my arm is pretty much straight.
Yeah.
And the only real way to fix that is to just throw your chest forward to buy that extra reach, which feels weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm thinking. So, Vince, maybe answer that question. There's a question for you right now, Vince. When you're doing that solo ride, because normally we do a lot of stuff at speed, so usually we're told to get our ass back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, get that ass back until you can't move it back anymore. And so on the slow ride, well, when I did the staircase thing, I just kind of
Did you just say back that ass up?
yeah, back
Okay.
that
You
ass
don't,
up.
you don't back your ass up.
Back it up, baby.
Hey, you don't back your ass up in slow speed.
But when
No,
I
no,
did
not at all.
You gotta-
yeah, so
at all.
I was like, I mean, I had to my nuts were up, squished against the tank. So Vince, answer that question.
Why are you squishing? You're supposed to be
Why are you
counterbalancing the
squishing?
shit
Because
out of the bike.
Why are you
just
squishing?
Getting on my tank. Oh.
Dude, you
So,
should be way off the
what
bike.
Vince was saying is, yeah,
you want to
it's
switch places because I don't
October
need to see that.
27th
You guys got
from
it?
8 a.m. to 2:30-ish p.m.
There you go.
What did I just say?
So go to
8 to 3.
I can't remember the
Yeah,
website
well,
now.
put it up.
All right,
Vance.
you have to
What is
tell us the
your
website, Vince.
I think it's Slow Ride.
Tag that in.
Motorcycle
I don't
training.
know. I'm not going to say something stupid and then send someone to some other.
He also
fucking
said,
thing.
as you go slow, the more forward you go.
Oh, see, then I was right. There we go.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
you got to
and he was talking
you're
to
changing
people,
that
too,
center of
about-
gravity.
And he was talking to people about setting their bikes up specifically so that they could do that.
Right.
There was a girl in the class where the bike was just too big for her, and he was talking about putting some kind of extenders or something on the handlebars.
Right.
So just she'd
So
be able
that
to
the
hold it better.
website is
Well-
slowridemotorcycletraining.com.
There you go.
That's he just sent that.
Say it again.
Slowridemotorcycletraining.com.
There you go. And of course, with the VIX, you guys got a very elongated tank.
Yeah, it's got a really long gas tank.
Right.
yeah.
And the wheelbase on those
you're
is
sloped-
ridiculous.
and you're sloped down
It's
Yeah.
long and
into
gone.
the seat, so it's not like it's pushing you to the tank. It's pushing you towards the rear of the bike, which would make it kind of difficult. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Well, that plus
you
I'm in top of
can
it.
do slow maneuvering on those.
Oh, yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
What
It's
one of
not
the things that
impossible.
Vince talks about, and he's talked about it with me several times because he's watching me ride, is modification beyond usability. So
Right.
if you modify your bike too much, you will sacrifice certain skills. So like all these guys you see they're now doing the Road Kings because the Mayans came out.
Right.
So now you got the Road Kings with the really tall ape hangers and fishtails that stick out the back 3 feet. Those guys can't ride slow for shit.
Feel the way I've
They
been
can't
watching
They
that.
don't turn.
They can't U-turn. They can't turn right from a stop sign.
Can't lean.
They can't lean. They can't do
Yep.
anything because they got these slammed bikes with long shit on them and tall bars. And that's fine if that's the style you're going for.
That's my dream bike.
Well, it's
If
just
you
like-
want to be a parking lot pimp, that's fine.
Yeah.
But then you got guys like me. They're like, well, I've got 14, so I look kind of cool, but I can also go ride the track.
Right.
I can
Right.
go, like, my bike was modified for what I do. So it's really loud and really comfortable, so I can go really far in a straight line and nobody will run me over. That was the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into instruction after I modified the bike. So I was like, well, fuck. Now I just got to learn how to deal with it. And I think I do all right. But, you know, like, especially Friday, I was like, oh, I've reached the physical limits of this machine. If I jump on Zig's bike, I might actually be fast enough for Group 1, but I have no idea.
So, Lena, are we at that
Yeah.
point where we're actually taking a break?
Brakes? What the fuck?
Yeah,
Break
it's
it up,
something,
break it up, break it up.
something
Two and
like,
two.
you know, we do stuff that are professional. We have people that pay. Like,
Oh.
Okay, I just
Oh.
want to make sure because since we moved here, it was still kind of getting everything settled and what have
well,
you.
guess what? I'm here, like,
I don't get paid.
either do I.
Neither do I.
Damn it!
This actually cost me money. What the hell?
Let's
This
try
is
it.
actually, like, probably, I don't know, maybe it's a
Doing it
one-time
all
thing for
wrong,
me
too.
tonight because I usually am closing at work and I actually opened. So, hey.
Well, if
When
that's
I-
what you're doing and you have a free money, you're always welcome here on. You're part of the Zig Zone.
Free
That's
yes, I have so much free money. You guys love my booze.
Love
well,
the
I
booze.
mean, but you
Love
never
the
showed
old
it
She said
to us.
booze, just in case anybody was confused.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
You know what?
well, we will be back in 2 and 2. We're still going on YouTube live. We are YouTube live, yes.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, very good. And then we're also on Facebook Live. So this is still going to continue so you can see all the mayhem that goes on during a break. So we'll be back in 2 and 2. Oh, there we go. Five Finger. I
Dude,
love
that's
Five
not me.
Finger.
It's been a while. Leave me alone.
Dude, I went and seen them. Did you go to the concert at the 5 Point? Oh.
I was really jealous.
Although I have to admit that Breaking Benjamin probably had a better show.
Really?
Main reason because some dude got hurt or something like that. So dude, two songs worth of time was eaten up trying to get this guy because he was in the front.
Oh.
You know, mosh pit shit. You know,
Ah, fuck all that.
you know.
But part of that Five Finger Death Punch, their lead vocalist was like a severe alcoholic for a minute, and he got to the point where I think it was him that they had the pyrotechnics on stage, and he took one to the fucking face because he was drunk, so he didn't know where the safety area was, and he went outside of it and got hit with some pyrotechnics. So
Really?
for a while, when he was before he went into recovery, they were like, "We can't do fire no more because dude got fucked up." Yeah, so people were bored at their shows because they weren't doing all the crazy effects and shit. I was like, dude, he almost died. He got fire in the face.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so then he went through recovery and stuff.
Yeah, there was. I was listening to an interview with him, and he's a pretty interesting guy.
Yeah, man.
You know, very very smart, but
A lot of anger issues.
talking about that, and he was
Demons, dude.
He was like, you know what? Yeah, I had to fight the demons and just chill out.
You
That
know,
just
it's
made me
good-
like their music even more,
You
though.
know, you know,
Oh, yeah.
it was funny
Yeah.
because I had a customer of mine and younger cat, and he seen my drum set and the amps in the front of my shop.
Sure.
He's like, "Oh, you're a musician?" Yeah, you know.
No, I'm a drummer.
You know. Well, I mean, it's hard to tell what I play because there's a full drum kit and there's amps and guitar racks and stuff like that. So, and he's like, we got into conversation, and he's like, so how come you didn't pursue this? I says, you know what, dude, I had to quit because the demons were going to kill me. I mean, I was very serious, and he looked at me like and like I was like literally like I was talking about demons. You know what I mean? And I just kept using the word demons. You know what I mean? I says, dude, I had a lot of demons, and if I did not quit this lifestyle, the demons were definitely going to take their toll on my life.
Yeah.
You know, and then he finally and he's looking at me, and I go, do you know what I'm talking about? And he's like going, are you religious?
Not literal demons,
and
you
I'm
idiot.
like going, no, dude. I said, alcohol,
God.
crystal
talked to
meth,
God
coke.
today.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like heroin. I said, dude, there was a lot of in my day. I had these fucking demons.
Oh,
and
it was
I
super
had to
fun
conquer
on
'em.
Friday night when we went and stayed the night at Vince's place. That's one of Zig's old school homeboys. Got to hear some fun stories about Zig in his younger days.
Yeah.
I know Zig in a whole new light now. It's pretty fun.
I'll bet it was.
Digging it.
What did he
He's trying to take a shot with you,
okay, cheers.
but he's got a
I'm sorry,
fucking
guys.
Yeti bottle full of water because he's lame like me. Yay! Fucking Diet Coke.
Oh, that's fucking funny.
Yeah,
This
so,
Costco Yeti bottle.
yeah, I tried to do the thing on the fridge. Hence, my jacket is on because my other shirt is soaked.
Nice.
So, nobody needs to see what's happening.
You look good, Lena. You've
Well,
lost
I have
quite.
nothing underneath this fucking jacket right now because the spear's all over.
I didn't say because the jacket,
Whatever,
but
take it off.
you've lost
Who
a lot
gives
of
a shit?
weight. You look good.
Almost 40 pounds.
It's zipped up really high though. This is a problem.
Smells like beer.
So now I want to go to the Saturday. So now we move from Friday to Saturday, and which is a great. I love. Here's what I love about the PDWs. When you walk around, I mean, you've been teaching.
Yeah.
as long
So
as,
spikes
before we get
around
into that,
here every day,
PDW is Professional Development Workshop.
correct, which is what we have to do. We have to attend every single year. Which, and the previous curriculum was a yawn fest. And it was like,
boring as shit.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, we got to do the PDW. Oh, okay, but I swear to God, man, when we did the first one with Total Control Training, dude, it was like when they said it's gonna be at Willow Springs, Horse Mile. I'm like,
What?
what?
Yeah.
And I swear, man, I'm so when we leave, okay, so can October come like tomorrow? You know what I mean? When you've been teaching as long as I have, it's you walk around and it's just and you just see just everybody that you've worked with, and just the camaraderie, and it's a lot. Everybody has so much respect for everybody else, there, and I mean, I just look forward to it so much. And then Chris was already there the whole weekend, which was awesome because I was there. We did the instructor track day on Friday. Then on Saturday
was my free day.
Yeah, exactly. So he got to sit there and observe how the whole thing was ran, and so we do. And I love. What was your favorite part of the PDW? Let's just, as far as the classroom sections.
I was technically working.
Oh, that's right. You were on the track.
Yeah, I was control rider.
In your race suit.
My favorite.
3 days.
I got to give it to you, man.
Thanks,
you were in that suit for a long fucking time.
3 days.
You need to drop that fucker off the cleaners, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably smelling pretty
right.
right by now. But anyways, Rita, which one was your favorite?
I hate
Classroom?
to pick one because I love.
No, I know.
I actually
but
I get really into the classroom stuff, but the last couple of years it's been Ophir's sections on stuff. 'Cause
Yes.
this one he actually created a new hashtag. Information creates confidence.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, this is so fucking cool. Because that's something I've been doing kind of since I got into instruction. I'm one of those people that really likes to understand the why of a thing. Like, cool, tell me that pushing creates countersteer, but then tell me why the fuck that works. Right? Tell me the physics of how the tire functions and how these things work in congruence, So his whole breakdown was just getting information to the students so that they can make informed decisions. Because when they're informed, they're not scared. Right? Knowledge is the number one killer
bliss.
of fear.
Knowledge is bliss.
Yeah, well, it's like, when I was a kid, I was terrified of all spiders. Didn't like spiders. Fuck off. Anything with 8 legs, whatever. I don't do that. So then, as I got older and read more National Geographic and watched, History Channel and all that shit, you get to learn about spiders. So at this point in my life, as an adult, I know, like, tarantulas are super venomous or poisonous. Which one is it? Venomous. Okay. I was pretty sure I had that. But, like, if a tarantula is on the fucking table and I don't fuck with it, it'll leave me alone. Right? They're pretty chill animals in general. You can keep them as pets. I also learned that daddy longlegs are a super fucking venomous spider, but their teeth are so small they can't pierce human skin. If they were 3 times bigger, they could kill us. No shit. I didn't know that. But, like...
That's what she said.
All of that knowledge, all of that information has helped me figure out that some spiders are worth smashing and some spiders are not that big a deal. That's same thing's true on the road.
Smashing.
Yeah. Same thing's true on the road, though. Like, if I know how to stop quickly and how to swerve and how to scan for hazards and, like, like black ice. When I was a kid, I didn't understand ice at all. As an adult, when I moved to Oregon, all of a sudden I got to see black ice. And I was like, that's what the fuck everybody's talking about? Now I get it, because I've seen it in person. I understand because the information's there. So Ophir's whole thing on information creating confidence was just mind-blowing. I was like, fuck yeah, I totally get it now.
Oh, I just want to let you know, Lena.
I didn't do it.
Scott McLaughlin said, "What's up?"
Was like
Somebody said, "What's like
Little
late, Zig, whatever."
Hold on.
Wait, did we? Oh, okay, there we go.
Scotty, he owes me a hat. And fuck you because I took all my fucking shot glasses home. He
Oh,
called me on my birthday with been asked about it. But yay! Hi, Scotty. Oh, by the way, I celebrated my birthday with your girlfriend, bitch.
Oh!
Woo! I did.
Lena's too hot for. She's too feisty for
And
this.
she got drunk.
Oh, because I
Not
made
yet.
that comment that
do me a favor.
Diesel Dave.
Hit ding dong just for him.
Oh. Diesel Dave. I mentioned that he dumped it on the dirt bike. What did he say?
Oh,
he says,
dude, you're not alone.
He says dirt bike's a different story, Zig.
You're not alone, bro. I did the same shit.
See, he dumped it.
Yeah, I'm not sure when or how, but like I crashed one too.
Oh, and besides Russ, he wants to know what his moment of silence. Just want to let you know that when Lena says "shut the fuck up," we have to shut the fuck up because it's a transition.
It's kind of being
going.
professional.
Yeah, but of course, being professional on this show is like you're
yes,
you're begging for
Just,
straws at this
Hi,
point.
Scotty. How are you? Yes, I celebrated part of my birthday weekend with your girlfriend,
damn
and she
it.
got drunk, and we had fun.
Wow.
CN.com, .net, .cc, .eventualpsychoworks.com.
Oh my god. So, Chris, what was your favorite part of the PDW as far as the classrooms are concerned?
Oh man,
Closer.
I think I
There
think
you
I
go.
have to say, with Colleen.
Oh yeah, going over the static
Going over the
practices.
static practices.
Yeah.
Because unlike tonight, I like to talk a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and I tend to say too much. So, with me reading the cards,
I would
and
love
she
it if you
said-
just talk right into the mic, my
right
friend.
There
into
you
the
yeah,
mic like
perfect.
this.
Just get the foam on your lips, bro.
Yeah, just
good.
right
Yeah,
there.
Yeah,
perfect.
so that I learned a lot from that class, and then from Dave Bianco as well.
Still,
Yeah.
buddy.
You
Come
know,
on,
it
Chris.
was, it was good.
He's learning. He's new.
I'm
Don't worry
learning.
about
I'm
it.
new.
This,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah,
Chris.
I
who
feel
married
funny.
Bianco's thing was cool
He
too.
actually married a girl
Yeah.
named
Like, that's-
Christy.
Christy.
Yeah,
because
Chris
he-
and Christy. That's fucked up.
because he did not want to forget his
His
wife's
lady's name. Yeah.
and
Yes.
his name at the same time.
Well, I just didn't want to
That's
call
fucked
another
up.
woman's name in bed.
Oh,
Or another dude's name in bed.
damn it.
Oh!
Wow.
I,
Just wow.
I had 2 couples as friends, and all 4 of them were named Chris.
Yeah.
That's funny as shit.
I actually had, I got stuck working. Wait, this is the best part. Zig's gonna laugh. I got stuck working the wine bar at work. What's the one thing I hate in the world besides beer?
Wine.
And I had to work it all weekend. I met a Steve and Stevie, and it was their 20th
Steve and
year.
Stevie.
Yeah,
Steve
20th
and Stevie.
guy and chick, 20th year
Say,
anniversary.
Stevie.
Well, when we
what
went
do you
to
think about the ambiance of this one?
It was a chick. It was Steve and
Ambient. That's the
Stevie.
wrong word.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I'm not a fucking wine person, dude.
The funny thing is,
Dude, hand me a goddamn beer, hand me a shot of fucking tequila.
dude,
you know,
why
fuck
don't you
that.
come
I'm
to
steak
my
and
work when
potatoes.
I
You
do
know what I'm
it?
saying?
I'm in charge
the
of beer.
fuck would I want to do wine
I'm in,
for?
I'm in charge of the beer here. I
Yeah,
do
so tell
beer
them what you see
tastings
when
all
you
the
walk in
time.
my kitchen.
Wine's fancy.
Cock.
That's all I know
Well,
about it.
but do I drink wine?
700 bottles.
Yes. But
Jesus.
do I drink wine at your house?
No.
That's
course
what I'm
not.
saying.
Thank
I
God.
don't know the lingo.
I don't have to
I don't
share
know.
it with
I don't
nobody.
care.
Ambiance. What?
Ambiance is like the feeling in a room,
Okay,
bro.
well, what is it you're looking for? The
Aroma, no
aroma.
ambiance, pendejo.
No,
What the
tell
hell?
us. Tell us.
Oh, you know, yeah.
What
It's
is
the
it?
bouquet.
No?
Bouquet. There you
There it
go.
is.
It's more
Oh
of
my
a
God.
aroma, not ambiance of a fucking wine. At least I know that, for God.
You know what?
Excuse
Nobody
the
gives a
fuck
shit.
out of me.
I just
Nobody
want
gives
to
a
know
shit.
when they describe something as tasting like smelling or tasting, they taste
Oh,
shoe
I got
leather.
one- I
It's
got
like,
one for
who
you,
the
buddy.
fuck ate the
And
shoe to
Chris-
be able to say that?
Yes.
Right. How would you know what
Let's hear
shoe
it.
leather fucking tastes like?
Oh, it gets better, Chris, and
Yeah.
you, and everybody.
You.
So I had to. We had a new Irish whiskey, so I bought it. I'm not sure what piss tastes like, but it was bad. So I made.
Wow.
I made them actually return it, and I have to sample whiskeys. And have
Oh,
to
life
sample
is
some.
tough.
But wait,
Right.
quote unquote,
Boo
I have.
hoo.
Oh shit, I shouldn't say it on there. I have to quote.
Hey, you want to get up
out.
on that mic?
Yeah.
I have to spit it
Put your
out.
lips on it.
Put your lips on the. Yeah, just get right up on there.
You know Bernard was on this mic.
Swallow
for a
it.
while. No, I'm not a spitter. Bernard's been on here.
So, you know,
We're going off the rails here,
I-
Zig.
I was in like one of those kiki moments, man, years ago, and I had a chick piss in my mouth. Just
Stop sharing.
What?
Just stop sharing right
Water
now.
sports.
Nobody cares.
Right.
Sport.
For the
We are
love
now
of
officially
God.
off the
You
rails.
said you don't know what piss tastes
Jump
like.
the
I'm-
shark.
No, Zig.
I'm gonna explain
No,
to you
stop.
I'll
what
tell you
piss
Stop.
what it is.
tastes
I'll tell
like.
you what
Stop.
it tastes like. It probably tastes like Kilburn Irish whiskey.
Stop.
Which is shitty.
Let's get back to
It-
bikes,
it
booze,
tastes-
Your new name is
It
Zig.
I'm so
Fucking-
glad I took out my hearing
It-
aids.
Jeez, thank you. Yeah, I
That's a
wish I
bad
could cut my
combination.
ears off.
It
That's
tastes
a bad
very
combination,
salty.
man. Bikes and
Oh
booze.
my! Has
There's
he?
the 3 Bs, bro.
I'm just saying, it's like very.
I
Like
can't,
drinking
I can't.
salt
Stop.
water, but with like some kind of fucking like
Oh my
like a
God.
chemical taste.
Vinegar,
I'm just saying.
yeah.
And it was
Oh my
warm.
God.
Can I go home now?
Now you know what piss
Yeah.
tastes like.
Well,
So,
how long ago was this?
so
it
fuck
probably,
go home now.
all you.
it probably
It
smelled
was,
like
it was
really bad
many years
batch
ago.
and cocaine
It was
and meth,
many
and it
years
was
ago
bad.
when I was
Yeah.
the demons were still.
Yeah.
When he was still
Clearly.
experimenting.
Yeah, no shit.
Let's get back to wine and whiskey.
Anyways,
Yeah,
anyways,
let's not
Wine,
Anyways,
whiskey, and women.
cut him
So-
off right now.
So,
Hold on,
anyways,
hold on.
so we got.
Oh,
so
he's
yours
cut off.
was-
Just poke him in his stomach like the Pillsbury
Dave
Doughboy.
Bianco's always very smooth.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Bianco,
Great
he's-
transition
he's
there, Zig.
already- Yeah, he
I
he
muted
knows
him.
what he's
Watch
doing.
this. He doesn't know this. Watch this.
Yeah, I heard
Guys,
that.
keep talking. He's muted.
So we were talking about Bianco. He was
yeah.
he was talking
And
about
now he's back on.
the
Yeah.
was it the
You're
Making
back, honey.
turning
decisions.
slides.
Yeah, the
making
turning
decisions.
slides.
Yeah.
Yes.
Making decisions.
Yeah.
So really, that whole spiel is the wrong word, but basically he was focusing on
Piss.
students understanding that they are making decisions every time they
Every
touch the
step of-
motorcycle.
Yeah, every step of space.
Yeah, every
Yes.
single every
Right.
every nanosecond they're touching that bike, regardless of what they're doing, they're either making good decisions or bad ones.
Right.
Well, you know what I got out of, because mine was a fears, and now my thing is that when Riedel and I teach together, when it comes to exercise 13, we really we get into them wanting to get their shoulder in there, and now. I don't know if it might have been you and I don't know if it was you and I, but I was working with somebody, and I was teaching that same exercise, and there was I was near somebody else. I'm not gonna say what range I was at and whatever it was, but there was somebody else that was a peer TCT, and I was telling him, look, and
Throw the
enhancing
shoulder.
the shoulder
Drop your
in.
shoulder in.
And that person walked up to me and said, is that in your cards as far as your teaching? And I looked, and it didn't say anything about which a fear said. It didn't, line it up, blah, blah, blah.
It doesn't
you know.
specifically
It doesn't-
say to do that.
All it says lean your shoulder slightly into the turn.
Yeah.
But that's about it. It's not in your coaching tips.
Right.
Right.
You see? And I'm like, well,
It's in the directions.
I'm going by the coaching tip. You know what I mean? But
Well, like, even
which was
the-
awesome, because it doesn't matter. Okay, cool. I'll do this as far as this, but
Do it your way.
I know I need to get them to do this.
Yeah.
Because it fucking works.
Yeah.
And then Ophir said, no, you need to.
You need to get their shoulder
You need
in.
to get their shoulder in the turn. And then he had that picture of the one kid.
Yeah,
who
the guy
doing
that was
Yeah.
the guy that was crossed up, and then he
Yes,
fixed him.
And
Yeah.
he fixed him. And
And he
he
was hating it
he
at
says
first.
okay, well, slightly in the turn. He goes, what is slightly in the turn? And I says, well, if I said, because everyone has a chance
Sure.
to say that.
Answer.
I says, look, what I do is I just make sure that they get themselves at 2 and 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
If the bike is a clock, straight ahead is 12 o'clock. To the right is 2, to the left is 10. Okay, if I can get them to
You're
lean
blowing people's
into
minds
that,
right now that don't know how to read an analog clock. Just so you know.
right? Right?
Like what?
Goddamn
So,
millennials.
and
I know, right?
Yeah, which way is
But
clockwise?
what he did is he did break it down. He said their sternum
Yeah, their sternum has to be above a
has
fork.
to be in line with the fork.
Yep.
Now we have a key thing. You know what I'm saying?
A
Because
reference point.
I'm telling you, when I work Redoubt,
Yeah.
we really
A reference point.
really
And like
work on this.
for me, it was always, if you're making a left turn, get your helmet over your clutch hand, and if you're making a right turn, get it over your throttle hand.
Kiss your mirror.
Because yeah, exactly.
Kiss your mirror.
Because that way they're moving their head, and the only way to do that is to move their spine.
Yeah.
So then they get
Yeah.
off center, and that's really all I give a shit about is, are they getting off center?
yes.
If it's some of these guys, especially the ones, there was one a couple weeks ago. It was a female on a dirt bike, and she was getting down. Like her arm was level with the handlebars, and she was leaned way the fuck off. And I was like,
That's how
Arm
you're
dragging
supposed to
over
look.
the tank.
that looks extreme in a parking lot. But because of it, she was riding right up the ass of whoever was in front of her because she was that much faster than everyone
Yeah.
else. I was like,
Yeah.
see, that's why it works.
And when I tell the students, I say, okay, well, if you lean in at 2 o'clock, if you're making a right hand turn and you lean in at 2 o'clock, if you lean in at 2 o'clock, which is about right here, you're going to lean into the handlebar. What is that going to force you to do with your right hand on that handlebar?
Technically pushing.
Push.
Yeah.
So
That's
you
what I
knock
tell my
two birds
students
out
too.
one stone. And I teach that in classroom 2, which is before they hit range 2.
Yeah, because technically, I mean, like you just said, if you're leaning into it, dropping your shoulder in, you're pushing without knowing,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
It just makes it that much easier.
And
Yes.
where after that class did you guys get to actually physically practice it?
On the freaking track. It was awesome.
Yes.
Right? So
It
that's
was.
I
No,
love that.
my first session was
Oh, you
track.
got to go track first? You suck.
Remember, I was out there the first morning.
Oh yeah. So
I did track at the very end of the day.
Well, no, I wasn't sure.
I
if
had
we
track, or no, I had dirt first.
Well, see, I wasn't sure if we had to follow him, so everyone's like following him around the track, and I'm like, "Fuck this!" Girl.
No,
Oh,
only
see?
for the warm-up lap. So the key was to
Okay, because I just passed him up.
yeah, only the first lap.
Yeah.
For two reasons: one, to get some heat in tires,
Yeah.
and two, to show the students the
Path of travel.
path of travel, turn points, breaking points. Because what happened was I went down the
follow
hill
the mic,
Sunday
follow.
for the intros.
Yeah.
And Lee asked, "How many people first time here?" A lot of hands. How many people have never been on Horse Thief Mile? Almost 90% of Sunday's instructors have never been
Wow.
on
Oh,
Horse
right.
Thief Mile. Okay, that was big because when we were out there, control riders, they were all over the place.
Yeah, because they didn't know the
we
line.
go out there, hey, I tap the back of the bike, follow me, take them around a couple laps, come in, do the feedback, and they were like, "Oh my God, that made a huge difference. I had
Yeah.
no idea." Mind you, they've never been on a track. So it's a whole new thing. There were some instructors that were freaked out. Like they were panic freaking about, I got to go on this track. But
Oh, see,
after
I
a few
really
laps-
enjoy
know
it.
that.
joke, dude.
after
I
a
really
few-
enjoy it.
But after a few laps, think about never being on it before. Never been on.
Yeah,
a
I was
track, one,
terrified for about
and
10
two,
laps.
And then two,
I was just terrified.
having to learn what to actually do.
Yeah.
But we're actually practicing exercise 13.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Each time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we had to correct a lot of instructors because,
Yeah,
again,
because they suck.
writing in a mirror, which we can't do.
Good to
Yeah.
know I'm not the
We
only
don't
one.
have that ability.
No,
So
it's cool because
we
that's
are the mirror. That's why there were so many
yeah.
riders out there in the yellow vest because that's what the whole goal. Two things. This is what our mission was.
Observation.
To not have crashes compared to last year, because that was a big thing. Everyone was trying to go too fast, too soon, and having
Yeah.
problems. So that was number one goal, which was succeeded. Aside from Friday is not count for Saturday, Sunday,
Yeah.
PDW. So that was successful. Nobody went down. Great.
Cool.
Very close calls. My feedback to everybody was the best situation was they put stopping quickly right before the next, which was the track.
The track.
Mm-hmm.
Because I watched a guy just about go off the track. He did a quick stop on the exit of turn 8
Oh, wow.
to keep from going off. And
But at least you knew how to do a quick stop.
Yeah, and
Yep.
if you hadn't practiced it prior
brilliant.
to, it might have been a different thing.
Did he straighten and brake?
Yeah, he did actually.
Yeah, straighten and brake.
And
You know it.
How he went off the track, I don't know.
Yeah.
But that was phenomenal. And I was like, "Woo, that was close."
Well, see,
But
that's one of the
Do you
things that
guys
I
know-
really.
Rick Becker.
I do now. I met him on Friday.
So he used to own a track day company,
Oh, cool.
and he had a couple of colleagues that worked with him or that were co-owners, I think. But anyhow, Christy and I's first track day was with his track day company. They had already folded, but they rented Button Willow out as a thank you to all their employees.
Oh, cool.
And we got invited. It was a personal invite to this track day, and so we were out there with all these professional racers, and nobody had a clue that we had never done a track day before. And so we went out there. We rode the whole day, never had any problems. And then we had this huge barbecue at the end of the night, and Rick and Katie and just the whole group was there. And somebody overheard us say that was our first track day, and it was like time stopped. Everybody's like, "What?
What?
What?" and we're like, yeah, and so
Yeah.
my good friend Matt Brown had, worded for us and said, yeah, I'm going to stand behind these guys. They're good canyon riders. They can ride the track.
Yeah.
And so that was our first track day, or very first time ever being on a track, and it was so fucking awesome. It really
Yeah.
was, and and they said, don't look back, just hold your line. The racers behind you will pass you, and I mean, yeah, I got passed a bunch of times. I was not fast back then. I was riding my CBR 1000, and but what a feeling, and it was the best drug that I've ever done in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, that's
dude,
one of the
well,
things.
Like,
the
well,
most-
Sunday, I spent the day because after the PDW, Sunday I went back and I was at Streets, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Although they did it in a clockwise direction, which sucks
That's
when
where
you're
you
coming
throw
out of
it.
the big bowl. But I was getting passed.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. I'm not trying to be the fastest guy out there. I'm just trying to have some fun.
Yeah, I'm
You
trying
know?
to be faster this time than I was last time.
Well,
That's
what
my
I'm
goal.
doing
I'm
is
fighting myself.
Practicing everything that because I was in Lee's ear Friday and Saturday.
Oh yeah.
I was just.
I love
you know,
that personal
hey,
feedback, dude.
blah blah blah. Well, of course, Friday we had a chance because Lee. There was only 48 of us, so we had a lot of time to pick Lee's brain.
Well, and that's one of the things I really like about Total Control training is just the level of instruction that we get as instructors, because that's invaluable to have other people observing you and say, hey, you know, not to offend you, but this is where you suck. I'm like,
Right.
oh, cool. I didn't know that. You know, when you're out with your buddies in the canyon, yeah, you look cool, but nobody's really watching you because they're watching themselves. They're trying not to die.
Right.
So it's like, okay, cool.
Well,
so if you
they
fuck
don't-
up on a curve,
Well, how they
nobody will
supposed to
tell
help
you.
if they're messing up too?
Exactly.
don't
And
know
if
what
they
they're
suck
doing.
too, or you're the best rider and you've got some stuff that needs working on, like nobody's gonna tell you.
No.
But no matter how good I get, some instructor has better eyes when they're standing in that observation point and they go, "Oh,
Yes.
you're not doing this,
Yes.
or you're not doing that." You know,
Well,
and
wait
that,
a minute, be careful. An instructor has been trained on how.
exactly,
To
they're
instruct.
trained on how to
Some-
observe that
some
stuff and
guy
how
who's-
to
some
tell
guy
you.
Riding a canyon is going to tell you,
Yeah.
hey man, leave your shoulder to the
Yeah,
outside now.
that's
You'll
some
be like,
numbnuts
"Oh,
who's
okay."
riding fucking
So you
Arrowhead. They don't
gotta
know
be
shit.
Careful about where you get your instruction from. which
Exactly.
is why
You know
it's so
that
key.
YouTube certification is dangerous.
Yeah, I know.
It's all bad.
You need to go.
But these
and-
guys, these instructors are amazing. Like, I am not even ashamed that I took Andrea's whole attention span for like the whole 40-minute track that I had on the PDW.
And I
'cause-
could tell your mind was blown.
Yeah, it
You
was
were
cool
like,
because
oh my God.
Andrea's on. I think she was on a Ducati,
Yeah,
something.
no,
I don't
no,
remember.
It's KTM 690.
There it is, the KTM
The
690,
Duke.
and she was my control rider. So we did the warm up lap, and I was just kind of following her line, and I followed her for several laps, and then she pulled off, so I pulled off, and I'm like, hey, you're faster than me, help me out. And she's like, okay, cool. So I spent the whole fucking 40 minutes like. I did a few laps with her behind me, and then she did a few laps in front of me, just to kind of give me an idea of where to brake and how to brake, and
Did you have
working
a
on my
light bulb
body
moment?
position. Yeah, of course I did.
The aha.
So-
Always do.
I did.
Aha moment.
Well, for me, it was weird. Like, I have floorboards on my bike. So normally I ride with my foot flat on the floorboard with the edge of my boot hanging off the edge of the floorboard.
Which is a problem.
So when I get leaned over, the first thing
Your
that touches the
boot's
pavement
dragging.
is
Good to
the
know.
edge
I'll
of
watch
my
out for
boot.
that.
So I'm using it
Yeah,
as a
that's a big
feeler
problem.
gauge, right? To know how much more room I've got before I start scraping floorboard. And she's like, "Do you mind if I grab your foot?" I'm like, "Okay." So I put the bike on the kickstand. She came over and grabbed my foot and rotated my foot. So the edge of my boot is now on the floorboard, right? And the sole of my boot is touching the engine case. She was like, "Try that for a couple laps. See how it feels. If it hurts, stop doing it." I'm like, okay, cool. And what I found was that even though it looked weird while I was sitting still, when I tried it on the track, it allowed my hip to drop. So the pain in my hip went away, and my knee got out of the way of my arm. So that small little rotation of the
That little
ankle,
tweak, that
and I was
little
like, "Oh shit! I've got more room to move around." I stopped scraping shit. And I was like, "That's pretty cool." Because
Yeah, it's amazing how how just your foot, the way you place your
Yeah.
foot, and angle your foot.
Well, and I was
plays
doing
a big
shit that-
difference in how it's going to activate right into your hip.
But what I was saying is exactly we can't ride with a mirror in front of us, so we can't see.
yeah,
it.
you got to have somebody watching you that knows
Having-
what to look for.
What we were doing as control riders is working on all that. And the biggest thing with body positioning was a lot of people miss it is where their foot is.
Yeah,
And having your foot off the side of the peg is a bad thing
yeah,
for multiple reasons. But one, if you lean over and your foot gets tore off the peg, that's just a bit of a distraction.
ow, ow,
Just a
ow.
bit could
Just
cause
Sure.
you to crash.
Yeah,
And
it's all
in
bad.
Proper foot position.
Yeah.
So think about that when we're training. Watch the students. Watch how many times their foot are not in the right
Yeah,
spot.
their toes sticking out, and then they hang up on
Or
something.
And then they
underneath,
stand
or
the
underneath
bike
the
up.
shifter.
Yeah,
What when your
Yeah.
toe is pointed down underneath the shifter or rear brake and you lean over, what's
Yeah.
going to happen to your
it
foot?
gets
now?
snagged and gets tucked.
It's going to break your
Yeah,
toes.
yeah.
It's going to break your foot off.
Right.
So it's really critical to make sure their foot is on the only
Yeah,
the foot on top of the peg. And also when I was doing slow speed work, really critical is balls of the feet on the peg so you can push pressure down to lower the center of gravity of the motorcycle.
right.
So your foot placement is really key in all elements.
Well, that
especially in
and
the track.
the other thing she had me doing was when I was leaning, my outside arm was straight,
Yes.
but it wasn't rotated.
Yeah.
And so just holding onto the bar with my elbow pointed towards the front of the bike, right? The ditch or whatever,
you
pointed to
should-
the front. So instead, it was just rotate. So that little rotation bought me like another half inch of lean if I was conscious enough to
And
do
if
it.
you're turning to the right, like you just described, where's your left knee go now?
Mine was against the tank,
Yeah.
but kind of almost on top because my foot, when I go into a right-hand turn, my left foot's no longer on the floorboard. I'm like sitting on the right saddlebag with my heel kind of hooked in somewhere on the engine case, and my knee is somewhere up on my gas tank, like in a place it doesn't really belong. And Zig can attest to this. It looks like I'm fucking falling off my bike.
Yeah,
Every time.
pretty much.
It looks like I'm falling off, and people go, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I'm like, "Nothing. This is how I get the bike to lean over." You know, because it's heavy.
You mean,
Right.
or reverse way is you're actually, because Adam worked greatly with me on this, and it really came together. It was a huge light bulb moment. Sunday, I was able to practice it while I was control rider, and man, what a difference! So once your arm goes out, you're almost floating over the bar because you're pushing his inside arm.
Yeah.
You're just out here just guiding it. In fact, there was points I was taking my left hand off because you're really not doing anything other than just cross the bar. But when you do that and your forearm is laying across the tank, your inside knee is now hooked onto the inside of the tank.
Yep.
So you're just hooked into the bike. And now you can turn your torso out.
Yeah.
That's where your knee. And
Yeah,
it's
you
so
only use
awesome.
your core. Yeah.
Oh, so awesome.
Well, and
So-
I blow my students' minds all the time. Like, hey, point your nipples through the curve.
Mhm.
They're like, what? Or
That's-
sternum. Yeah, depending on.
No, he
Nipple?
just got busted.
No, if
Punch your
sometimes.
nipples in.
Well, no, it depends on the student. Because some students, I mean, obviously, I know how to talk to my students. Okay.
Yeah, wait.
I'm just saying.
So,
Right
first
We're
of
on the
all,
show, that's okay.
you gotta gauge the
fucked up
audience,
moment.
right?
That's okay. Yeah, I
Wait
got
a
you.
minute,
I
wait a
would
minute,
fucking want you.
We're
True
missing-
Think Chaotic
we're-
Radio hashtag.
We're missing a big part of what you just said, okay?
We
Your
got
communication to the students earns you an award from California.
Yeah,
Highway
that happened. That was a
Patrol.
thing.
I wasn't
gonna, you know,
get to
toot my
that,
own
but I'm
horn.
not at the nipple moment.
Yeah. Well, no, because the way it works, and so before we get in, I got a commendation from Highway Patrol because they think I'm outstanding and my students really like me because they survey the students after the fact, and so the students go, yeah, you know, Justin was really cool. So that was cool, and like
What a minimizer. Okay, so
no,
we have like
I know.
440
So, yeah.
instructors in the state.
Yeah, to be totally honest, there's like 500 instructors in the state, and there was like 10 people that got this award, and I was one of them. So
Yeah,
it's
dude,
kind
come
of like
on.
super
Like-
fucking exciting, and I was like, oh, single tier.
Because I
Yeah,
can
it's
see
pretty
all
dope.
everybody's comments.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I don't want to see me.
So
You're in there
no,
already.
so part of that is gauging the audience, right? If you have a student who's like getting a kick out of the way you're joking around and stuff, then you're getting into that student's head, and that's good because all you're trying to do, and this was part of Ophir's thing, is you have to inspire confidence not just in themselves, but in you as an instructor.
Yes.
If they don't trust you, they're not going to try the shit you tell them.
Right.
You know, so if I got a dude that's like all inked up and looks kind of like me and is laughing at my jokes in the classroom, you know, all that good stuff, then when I get out on the range, we've established a rapport. And, you know, if I'm telling them stuff and they're responding the way I like them to, I'll change my language. Sometimes it's point your sternum or point your shoulder or point your nose like Toucan Sam or whatever. And sometimes it's, point your nipples because that works for that student.
And that's why he won the award.
Yeah, it's
You
about
have
the
to-
flexibility to be able to change your language for the student you're working with.
Right. Well, I have to admit that the award you got, us at SoCal, the recipients of that CSP award was only given to a few people.
Yeah, it's like
know, it's
what,
not-
10 people in the state.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've received
Way to
one.
go, Justin.
Justin got one. I'll cheers your Jack in the Box.
I know
cup.
you've got one.
I've got one. Matt has one.
Matt has
Allie-
two.
Matt has two.
Matt
Allie-
Pistol's gotten it twice,
Really?
and
Hello,
Bubba's
stand
gotten
by.
one.
Allie has one. I think
That's
Allie's
all.
got two also.
and
And I
And-
think
wait,
Dave
and
has
I'm drinking
one
a
also.
beer.
Bob Mulis from my site got one this year.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. Bob got one.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah,
He was shocked. I got a picture of him. I'll have to show you guys.
Yeah,
and
it's
the
good stuff.
look on his face was.
You
was,
need to make love to that mic. You're,
Man.
you feel like the death.
I'll make love.
There- yeah,
to
perfect.
the
That's
mic right
perfect.
there.
That's perfect.
Bob Mulis.
That's when on the debriefing, we tell the students,
cheers.
I said,
Yeah.
CHP take this stuff seriously. They
They really
Yeah,
do.
they do.
Yeah, they do.
mean what they say. When
Yeah.
when we're trying to get to zero, the number
Yeah,
zero
they're not
fatalities
kidding.
in the state is no joke. They're not just out there going, yeah, let's just teach people how to write. That's a benefactor of teaching them correctly how to write.
yeah.
Right. Correct.
So like in 2 weeks, my plan is to go up to headquarters again for the CMSP meeting.
Oh, cool.
Okay, which is Wednesday the 17th. Anybody can go, but by the 12th you have to call them and email. Well, you can either best thing to do is call them, but you can call them and say, "Hey, I want to attend," because they have to basically vet you before you come in because you're going in the Highway Patrol headquarters.
Yeah, you can't just
Right.
show up and be like, "Hi,
Yeah,
I like the Highway
yeah.
Patrol."
And when you
I
go in
actually
there,
don't. They really don't
there's-
like me. Well, they love me.
there's-
I don't like them.
Actually, that's what's really funny. When I
I
got that
wonder why.
commendation, no, when I got that commendation, I was
know.
like, you know what? This is the first piece of paper I've ever gotten from Highway Patrol that I didn't have to sign.
That wasn't
Really?
Right?
They didn't either.
It was
make me
super
sign.
cool.
I didn't
Yeah.
sign it. They just put like bracelets on
hilarious.
me,
That's
and I
because
said,
you weren't
"Fuck you."
driving or riding.
Yeah, you know. Well, I rode that day,
Well, I know.
and
but you're
I
not-
was
yeah.
I was hoping somebody would pull me over on the way home because I could just reach my saddlebag and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
check this
Yeah,
out.
look at this. Look at this.
Look at me. Look
Call
at
your
that guy.
commander right now. He likes me." But no,
it's
that
a
was
Going
not
back
gonna.
But it's
to
a big-
body position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I got some really good tips from Lee, and which might help you too as well, because he was saying he's all man, he's all you're really cooking out there. He said, but you're taking your ass too far off the seat,
I do the same thing.
which is causing your hips to point in the opposite direction of your turning, but your torso, your elbow, your head are all leaning in the right way, which is confusing the bike. And he said, so
And we call that getting
Less-
crossed up.
yeah, we got crossed up. So he said, less ass off the seat. Well, he didn't really say it that way.
Less
but-
ass, more chest.
Right. And
Yeah.
he said, hug the tank tighter with your outside leg so that everything is pointing that direction. And he said it's going to lighten your suspension up.
Mhm.
And he's all, you're pushing in the turns, aren't you? And I went, yeah, I almost just ate shit back there.
Yep.
And he's all, that's going to cure that. And he's all, don't fight the handlebars so much. He's all, I can see that you're pushing too hard.
Yeah.
And I went, holy shit.
Oh,
he's
dude,
right.
that was
He
the other
did
light bulb
it.
moment that I had.
While
Every
he's
fucking
sitting there
thing.
dragging his fucking knee in the
Yeah,
corner.
exactly.
And he can still see this in you.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
But anyways,
Right.
guys,
But it was,
we
man, it was phenomenal.
Hang on, guys. We are going to be taking a break.
Sure.
Another one? Man.
Yeah, we got to take another one. I
One
know.
break
You're so used to be
coming
like,
up.
oh shit, we could keep on going. Fuck
Yeah.
like
Whatever.
that,
It's
you
cool.
know?
It's cool. You got to
But
make that money.
You know,
Yeah, profit.
the
break.
advertisers got to get their.
right.
But it's
Somebody
fucking
bring me a Diet
amazing
Coke.
how he can still do his thing
Yeah.
They're not an advertiser.
and
Worth a
still
shot.
look at you
Still look at
and
you.
be like, and correct you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was
The
awesome.
most amazing shit. I swear to God, because I tell you, I don't like doing. When we come back, I'll talk about it on my day on Sunday. But I can't stand the fact of the them running clockwise at streets. But I'm telling you, when I picked Lee's brain on Friday, it made it so much smoother. So, anyways, we are going to take a little break.
Little break.
2 and 2. So,
Little break.
just stick around. We're still going to be live on FB and
Facebook.
YouTube. That's not going to shut down. So, anyways, stick around. Go take a piss yourself.
All right.
Get a fresh beer or
Hey,
something.
piss off.
He said, "Go
Piss
take,
off, eh?
go
Piss
take a
off.
piss yourself."
Sophie.
Stand by. I heard we're playing Spice Girls. Damn it! I'm so not used to this shit.
That's a good one.
All my sound bites are still not here, but okay.
That's okay, hon, because you're back now.
Well,
Well, I mean, technically, but,
it happens.
That's right, because next week,
I'm
JJ
working.
is going to be in your spot.
He don't know how to do shit.
No, but just talking shit on you. Okay, so we've been talking about the motorcycle safety, and then we had Freight Train had someone chime in. Oh yeah, motorcycle safety, and then we got booze and shit involved. Just let you know, this is
Just a fucking heads up.
This will be the last time I'm going to let you know that my son is going to be here later to drive me home. So.
Well, here's the thing.
As well as
'cause
my son will
some-
be here to pick me up.
Yeah, sometimes
go.
we get
So-
sucked into, because most of us are instructors, that this radio show is about motorcycle safety. It's fucking not.
Hey,
This is Biker Alley.
This is
Yes.
Biker Alley.
This is
sponsored
about
by Lyft and
everything
Uber on
biker that
Monday,
there is.
Second Monday of every
So
month.
we have talked
Including
about
beer and
we've talked about bubble guts, we've talked about sex on bikes, we've talked about lane splitting, and
And
we
pissing
talk
in my
about
mouth?
all the stuff.
But we did not talk about
So-
me.
If you were under the impression that this radio show is solely about motorcycle safety,
It's
you
not.
done fucked up. Now, we stress that because we're instructors and we like people to live long enough to tune in next month.
But we like to have fun.
But we also like to have fun.
Yes, we do. Amen.
Yeah.
So
Cheers.
now, cheers.
Cheers.
So now,
Hasselhoff, motherfucker.
Isn't that what
Cheers.
motorcycling is all about? Having fun.
Yeah.
It's serious fun.
Yeah, if you're not
Right.
having fun,
Right.
get a new sport.
So
Go
now,
play tennis.
so now, I'm gonna move to Sunday, which was,
I drank beer. Oh my god, ew, I drank beer.
I think Lena's an alcoholic.
I drank beer.
How many Red Bulls
She-
has she had?
She
All of
likes
them?
that apple cider
Angry Orchards and shit.
Angry Orchard.
Yeah, hard ciders.
shit. Yeah.
Just for the record, now that I work in the beer department in spirits, and I'm taking a spirit exam, so I can get like $200 bonus. And I know supposedly I know everything about beer. I still like my cider. But thank
That's
you
fair.
for letting me try this beer.
Hey, cider's old school.
You're welcome.
I get it. It's like back there
I
with
can't
mead
drink
and
it.
shit.
Cider.
I can't have beer tasting.
Which one- are you drinking the
sweet. It just
Lafay?
doesn't work for me.
Do I?
Lefty or lefty.
What?
Well, now that I'm back
Wha-
on the show, you guys
wha-
will love me because the vendors give me samples, and I always have them full in my fridge, and I just gave my neighbors. So now I can bring them back to you guys.
Hell yeah.
So now I'm on the track on Sunday, and I was picking Lee's brain on Friday, and I don't know how he wasn't on the track when I was on the track, but it's funny how he observes you, even though he's not on the track and he's like behind you or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right?
And so I picked his brain, and I implemented some of the stuff that he told me on Sunday. And I'm telling you, holy shit, how smooth. Because I found myself, my first two sessions, because now it's clockwise, so everything changes, and it's a lot more bumpy when you're going clockwise and you're going counterclockwise. Because now when you're exiting, that's where the bumps are. It's when you're entering, when you're on the brakes and you're slow, that's okay. The bumps are there. Now it's smoother when you're exit. So it really fucks you up on your exit.
And that's at streets, right?
That's
You're
at
talking
streets. Yeah, streets of Willow.
So what are you saying it tests your suspension setup?
It definitely, yeah. Well, my suspension's good, but the thing is, it's the unnerving thing, you know. And what you want to do is, I found myself, my first two sessions is trying to really like cuddle my bike. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Cuddle.
You know what I mean? Like really like tuck into my bike because it became unstable instead of like letting it do its thing. And I was then I went into the pits and I'm like, oh man, I'm a semi-session. And then I all of a sudden I went back to this conversation out with Lee, and he's like, oh look, if you have this and you're here, and the suspension, even if your tires just skip or whatever they do, as long as you maintain that and not fight it, it's going to do its thing, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had to think back to that, and then now in probably my fourth session, everything I relaxed, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do this. My tires, lost traction, boom, 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 did their thing. The suspension did its thing because I already had it set up. So now I'm letting the bike do what it needs to do instead of having to trying to correct it myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Well,
which works against you.
Right.
So once you relax, and the bike can ride itself without even us on it.
Oh, see, that's what I tell students all the time. Like, look, your motorcycle wants to roll, like pretty much in a straight line. They come off the factory floor, they roll straight.
Right.
They're built like that, and then we put these twitchy, flinchy bags of meat on top. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and we confuse the machine. It doesn't want to fall. It's not built for that.
Right.
That they don't. Somebody somewhere does a whole lot of math so that they don't fall over unless we make them.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Well,
like
you just gotta relax and let it do its
But
thing.
it breaks it down to everything that if you when you're delivering the curriculum to your students, if you do it correctly, which was nice. That's why I loved Afir and Bianco's and
Do it right.
Colleen
and Polaro.
Just to get in there and just make sure that you deliver it like this. It's actually going to. Now, I mean, are the students going to that to question it when they're on their own bike? Of course they are.
Yeah.
But you know what I thought about this weekend before I went on Sunday, I got home on Saturday, or my buddy's house on Saturday, and I was just laying. Everyone's all okay, let's all go to sleep. We got early day tomorrow, and my brain was still thinking, and what I did is I was trying to picture myself teaching a class, and then yet be a student at the same time.
Okay.
So how was a student? But I had to, regress my brain as a student.
Forget half the shit you already know.
Exactly.
Yeah, because that's hard.
It was very difficult. So I got like 3 hours sleep. I mean, literally.
Yeah. I mean, anybody sitting in this room, because we all ride. Even Mike, who hasn't ridden for a long time, right? How many years you been riding motorcycles?
Almost 4.
Yeah, 4. So that makes you the newbie in the group. Sorry, bud.
Very much so. No,
But
I'm proud of
even
that.
Mike, who's been riding for only 4 years, has more information in his brain
Yes,
than
he does.
than 2 8-hour days can possibly funnel into a
Why
new
do you
student.
think I keep showing up here every
Exactly.
month?
Right.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm just
that's
absorbing everything
Yeah.
you guys are
Learn
yakking about.
something.
that's it.
Smart man.
So these students, I mean, if their brain is a cup of water, we're pouring in a gallon jug. We got to know when to stop, right? You got to slow
Yeah,
down
there's
and
times less is more.
not give them the stuff that they don't need.
Or
And that's where both of us struggle. Is like, I know a lot of shit, and I want to give you all of it.
Right.
I want to just
Yeah.
make you look like Megamind with a big ass fucking head.
yeah, but can you deliver it? We've got 3 different
Exactly.
learners, so you have to figure out which way works for that student.
Exactly.
Because the way you're delivering it, and they're still giving me that look like,
The fisheye look.
oh, okay, let me go.
I love it.
Let me go
When
to
they go-
instruction B mode.
Visual, auditory, or tactile.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, sir. So
Anytime.
you have to find those. You have to find which one you're dealing with, and that's not an easy task with 12 students. Okay, and you have to find different things. And if I'm blanking out, and I'm working with Zig or Justin, I'll be like, okay, this time around, I want you to go to the other line and work with Zig. Because sometimes you just kind
I'm
of
not
Change
getting
instructors
through
because
to
I
you.
don't fucking know what to tell you.
sometimes you blank out and you go like, I'm hitting a
I've
wall.
had
with
that.
the
I've hit a
student.
wall.
So you'll
You
sit
know,
and
and
when you
Totally.
go back and
Oh, yeah.
forth,
It's like I
the
can't
other
help
instructor
the
will say,
student
hey,
anymore. I
go
don't know
to
what
Mike's
to do.
side,
Well, and
let
I've had
him coach you and see
Well,
how
I
it
train
goes.
too, so
I've
I
even-
get it. I teach
Yeah.
people how to use accounting software.
Oh, yeah.
And when they're looking at you, and it's something like, well, debits are on this side, credits. It's like,
Deer in the headlight.
Yeah.
okay, let's try this a different way.
Yeah, good. There you go.
So I had to. I realized, and I know when my thing was whenever I go to a range, I make sure I humble myself because I have to be understanding to new riders and what have you. And then also when I go to any of the advanced courses that I've done, any other course that I've done, even outside of Total Control, I've done other ones. I have to humble myself, and that's why if I go to a advanced course and they do the introduction, I don't say, "Oh, my name is Zig, and I've been a motorcycle instructor for blah blah blah." I say, my name is Zig, and I'm telling you, I've heard about this, and I think it's going to give me a lot of information to take me beyond here.
And information creates
Right.
confidence.
And exactly. And so what I did is I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, you know what? I think I need to become a student. So I kind of like got a set. I don't know if it's going to make any sense. Maybe it just makes sense to me. But when I go from to dealing with students, I have to be in the student's mind and I have to be in my mind. You know what I mean? So I got to figure out where the student's coming from, where they're at, and become them. Listen to me. Make sure I'm delivering it to where I can understand myself, and then make sure they understand. Is that like going like way beyond?
No, that makes sense.
No,
It
it
does
makes
it?
sense. It
Yeah.
does.
Does
I do
it?
the same shit.
Okay, because I'm telling you, I was fucking laying there Saturday night going,
No, I get it.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I mean, my brain never stops. That's why I have insomnia. You know what I mean? Because my brain never stops. It's always
High five.
like picking. You know what I mean? It's picking at things. What can I do better?
Closer.
How can I do this different? You know what I mean? And dude, insomnia is a fucked up thing, dude. But it could be a good thing as long as you use it as a tool. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And
You're a tool.
I am a tool.
Do you ever like coach a student? We'll use braking for example, quick stops, and you try and tell them something, but then it doesn't even seem right to yourself.
He's jerking my fucking arm. Oh my god. Yeah. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll be like, "Oh, my favorite analogy."
Right.
You're shit fucked up there, Zig.
Uh-oh.
My favorite
offline.
analogy when we're talking about maximum braking. We get to the slide on maximum braking. We talk about the technique, which for us is a smooth, gradually increasing squeeze.
Right.
And then I look at all the students and they go, "Huh?" And I go, "Okay. How many of you have scrubbed dishes before?" And they all raise their hands. I had one class where one guy had never scrubbed a dish in his life.
Never.
I was like, "What the fuck?" But most of the time they all go, "Yeah, I've done dishes." And I go, "Cool." When you're
Your
done with the
parents are liberal
dishes,
fucktards too.
right, when you're done with the dishes and you got that soapy sponge in your hand, what do you do with it? You don't want it to get all moldy, so you got to squeeze all the liquid out of it, right? Do you just grab the crap out of it? No. You squeeze, and then if the water doesn't come out and it's still running, you just hold your fist closed till all the water comes out. Right? You give it a really hard squeeze. That's how you apply your brakes. You just turn the sponge, right? So squeeze, and when you get to that closed fist, if that bike hasn't stopped moving yet, hold the fuck on.
Right.
You know, you don't let go because you still got to stop. So you just wait till all the water comes out. And then they go, "Oh." I go, so later on the range, when you pull up to me and you're screwing up, and I go, "Hey, squeeze the sponge. Are you going to get it?" And they go, "Yeah." And then I go out to the range, and they squeeze, but they're not aggressive with it. I'm like, "Hey, squeeze that sponge."
Squeeze that sponge.
And then they go, "Yeah." And then the next one, they cut off like 3 feet. I'm like, "See? That's a car bumper, dude." And they're like, "It makes so much sense." I'm like, that is a really fucking lame analogy, but it works for these guys.
Hey, what
Right.
I use
Because
the
it's something that
orange.
they already kind of, like
I
the,
use
or,
the
the
orange
orange
over
over
the
a
juice
glass
out of
if
it.
you're trying to do orange juice. Like if you cut orange in half, you got half an orange, and you just squeeze the bejesus out of it, you're going to get orange juice all over the fucking counter. You got to go find the towels and shit. But if you take the other half,
sponge.
you take the other half and you give it a nice, firm, steady squeeze, you get, juice in the glass and no mess.
See, I use the Mexican way, dudes. You have your little lime wedge when you get your tacos.
Right.
You know what I mean? You don't want to squish it like that. You want to squeeze it to make sure it goes all over the taco.
Yeah, that's great, but you're only using 2 fingers.
Órale, pues, amigo.
But you're only using 2 fingers, Zig.
Yeah, but see,
You
I
fucked
use
up.
one
You gotta
hand
have.
to
Yeah.
block
It's a
the
lemon
finger.
wedge.
Yeah, I know.
It's not a fucking half.
That's what I'm saying. You got to give them the thing that works for their whole hand.
I'm just saying, but I use the analogy.
Yeah, it's a good
You don't
analogy.
just squeeze it.
Yeah.
Or crush it. You just.
But again, that's getting into
control the dripping.
That's getting into the brain of somebody that has no fucking clue how levers work. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
some bikes are hydraulic and some bikes are cable, and I don't know what they ride at home. So I got to give them something that every human being has probably done. Every human
Except
being.
the one guy.
Yeah, except that one fucking guy
Right.
who was like a 16-year-old that his mommy was taking care of his dishes for him or some shit. But almost everybody's held a sponge.
No, his mom.
You know,
he
like,
goes
do
to
you
Taco-
shower?
He goes to Taco Bell every day. You know?
Yeah, right, exactly.
So,
did you know they
Chris,
voted
are
Taco
you-
Bell the
Never
number one
washed his
Mexican food
car.
place in the
Oh,
country?
that's
I know,
fake
isn't that
news.
sad?
What the fuck is wrong with these people?
So now SoCal motorcycle training on November 10th and 11th,
11th and 12th.
11th and 12th. I'm sorry. Which
Whatever that.
is-
Hang
is-
on, I'm gonna look
is-
because I'm pretty sure it's 11 and 12. I gotta check my calendar real quick. Please hold.
Because you and I are working together, so the.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh
fucking
no,
know.
no, I'm not. I'm in Corona.
It's
But
one of
I am-
those.
It's 11, 12.
1, 2, 3,
Saturday
4,
and Sunday.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Um,
10, 11, 12.
Were you working this weekend, Sig?
This weekend I'm at Ride Right.
Right.
Which is what location?
That's.
Oh, I was incorrect. It is the 10th and 11th.
10th and 11th. I was correct. I said 10. You said.
I
11
gave
and
you
12.
props, fool. Shut up.
Ride Right's in Corona and Lake Elsinore at Storm Stadium. I will be, but have you taken the advanced courses?
No.
Oh,
Oh, so I think Allie and Dave would really like you there. Plus, you know what? You need that
I need
for your
to do my extra-
recertification.
Yeah, I need to do my extra curriculum.
Yep.
Definitely.
There you go.
Yeah, so
You and Christy should go.
Yeah.
yeah, well, Christy wants to become an instructor. So
Has she
Then the
done that?
Then there she
IRC
goes.
is a
If she does
mandatory.
the IRC, it's mandatory. So if she already does it, she's good to go.
and I did the RC obviously for my instructor training,
Yeah.
but you know, I need to
Get
step
on
it
mic.
up a little bit. Come here.
See, so
I think this is going to be a
Yeah.
thing.
Well, no, it's the intermediate rider clinic is really cool because it deals with a lot of that obstacle avoidance stuff. So you do the swerves, you do the quick stops, you do a little bit of body positioning, but really it's just making you more intimate with your machine.
And I like
Then you
it.
get into the Arc 1 and Arc 2 where they start really talking about
I may take
cornering
it again.
technique.
Right.
And it's like,
Which
There-
is
there
what
are-
is half of most of the motorcycle issues.
yeah,
when it
so
comes to
yeah, we
crashing.
talked about that.
Yeah.
50% of the motorcycle crashes on the road were caused by running wide in curves.
Yeah.
50%. I'm like, dude, that is a really fucking high
well,
number.
just curves in general.
Yeah, just running wide.
Fucking
Yeah, running
Just
wide.
running
the
wide.
curve up.
I'm like, we spend so much time talking about that in class because people don't get it. And like, yeah, it's fun to go fast, but
no
if you go
head
too
turn,
fast, you get
target
fucked up.
fixation.
It's fun to look at the scenery, but if you're not looking at the road, you get fucked up.
And
No,
day
these
two,
are-
I mean, how much turning do we do?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we
almost
do.
all turns.
Yeah, it's a
Love
lot
it.
of turning, and I tell the students that you know this is important here because you're going to kill yourself. We're killing ourselves daily running wide in turns. You would think it
Right.
would be a motorcycle against car, but it's not.
No, it's just us.
We're
Well,
killing
fucking
ourselves,
up.
You know?
Well, how many times, you three guys, how many times have you, I mean, because I already know, we already taught this many times. When we're riding down the road, we're already critiquing other riders.
We are
But
always
how many times have you been like going up Highway 2 or Ortega or GMR and you're looking at these guys and you're like going, what the hell is this guy doing?
right.
You know what I mean?
I
It's like,
honestly
this guy
sometimes
is
I
gonna
look
fuck
at these
himself
riders.
up, or this girl's gonna fuck
Yeah.
herself
They're gonna
up.
kill
Sometimes I
themselves,
look
yeah.
at these riders, and especially because I follow a lot of riders on Instagram, various club members and stuff that I associate with, and I look at them in their little videos and shit, and I go, "How did you live this long?"
Yeah.
Like, not to be a dick, but how? I want to know how you managed to avoid dying, because it's a miracle, and it
Oh,
needs to
I
be
know.
registered somewhere.
I watch a lot of that because
Yeah.
you used to be a vlogger, and I
Oh,
watch
dude,
a lot
all
of
the
this vlogging, dude, and I'm like going, Oh my god,
Bro, these days if you
What
can get a
the
fucking
hell?
Grom and a fucking Icon variant helmet, you can be a motovlogger now.
Right.
I'm like, oh my god, put the fucking action
So-
camera down and go take a class.
So
Right.
so
Like, I hate it.
question to all of us instructors.
Can we get closer to the mic?
Yes, I'm on it.
He's on
Maybe
it
I
now.
need to-
Yeah, he's good now.
Look at him.
I just like fucking with him.
Hey man.
So, how about
Don't be
critiquing
timid.
ourselves in our helmet?
Oh yeah, I do that
Oh
too.
my god!
I had so many moments on the track, like towards the end of Friday, where I was fucking up in a curve, and I knew I was fucking up in the curve, and I was like, I just fucking blew that, and I get the head shake and the like hand flip.
Yeah,
I
they
saw
have
you
flip.
do that.
Yeah.
I was in Ops 2.
Yeah, Mike was
And,
watching me. He's like, why is he shaking his head? Oh, because he fucked
on,
up.
He fucked up.
Well, yeah. Sometimes
that
you gotta.
That
Oh
was
shit.
because that was a shitty entry. And you knew it. You turned
Yeah, it was a bad entry point. I turned in early,
I know you were like,
and it botched my line. I was like, I
Oh.
fucking know I screwed that
50
up.
Pensing,
Yeah.
50 pensing.
Yeah, I was like, choppy, choppy, choppy. I was like, ah.
Yeah,
I hate
got,
that.
I got black flagged. Yes, I did, and I think it was Allison that black flagged me. Number one, because I wheelied up the
Crazy
turn
Chris, the
3.
wheelie king.
And because I asked in the beginning, can I do wheelies? And they're like, well,
It's
you know.
frowned upon. It's not
And-
not against the rules, but it is frowned upon.
So I willied up, and then
Supposed to be a training
I got caught in
day.
traffic, and so I botched my downshift because I have GP shifting on my bike, and every once in a while
You forget?
I'll fuck my brain, and so I upshifted instead of downshifted, and
Whoops. Yeah.
so they called me in,
Yeah.
and they said, well, you upshifted and then downshifted mid corner, and I'm like, yeah, blah blah blah. I can make all excuses all day. I know what
Sure.
I did.
Sure.
But they're all no more wheelies.
Oh, no more.
I got black flag too.
You did.
I did.
What'd you do?
And so Andrea was
Andrea.
was mine. And so what I did is I was just like, because you're supposed to do 3 laps and then go
And
into the
then
Would
hot
you like
pit.
7?
I just kept going.
Bro, pull in.
I wasn't pulling in. Then I get like, like the shotgun.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
you know?
Dickhead.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So I pull in, and Andrea goes, hey, everyone says you're doing really good, but
just gotta take a break.
You're supposed to come. You're supposed to come in
check.
every 3 laps.
Yeah, we're giving.
Oh, I'm
because-
sorry. I was here yesterday, so
Yeah, I was fucking around.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
because up on Ops, we were up on the hill making notes. They're giving us feedback. We're giving them feedback of the riders. We're making notes. So it's like the riders need to know what the feedback is. If you're just riding around in circles, you're not going to get the feedback.
that's
So-
true.
Right.
You know what the feedback I got
I-
was? Seriously, because I did religiously. I was like pulling in every 2 or 3 laps, and they're like,
We got nothing for you.
I got nothing. And at the very end, they're like,
Yeah.
everybody says you're doing really well. I'm like,
Well, yeah,
that's
because
not a critique.
Yeah, that's not what I
That
want to
doesn't
hear.
help me.
I know,
like,
but
give me
since
something.
You had it figured out Friday, so that
Yeah, exactly.
It was-
That it helps to show up and dial it in.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
so it was
Sunday,
kinda
I kept pulling in every 3 or 4 laps. I would say it was probably 4 laps, and I pull in. They're like,
Good job.
One. We got nothing for you. Good
Well,
job. Keep
look
going.
Good job. Near, near,
as,
near.
as a guy that was in all the positions up
Yeah.
there, it was like, don't take it a bad way because there was plenty of
Oh,
other
yeah.
student instructors.
Some of
that
those guys
needed
were
it
fucking
bad.
up.
Right.
Okay, they didn't have the luxury of us being out there Friday and tuning stuff
Right.
up and getting adjusted. All right, there was a lot of oh shit moments as like, hey, black flag, get him off, talk to him right away because it's gonna be off. He's gonna be out in the dirt in a minute.
That's all bad.
So
Yeah.
I mean, like
Yeah.
bad head turns, bad body positions. So
Which is a great opportunity to, as an instructor, to when you make mistakes, to be corrected. Because you know what, when you have your students and you're in front of your class, your students are looking up to you. It's like, okay, well, shit, Chris, Redial, and Freight Train. These guys know their shit. I'm gonna listen. But are you guys susceptible to mistakes?
Of course.
Do it.
Yeah.
And I tell my students that okay, this weekend I was out riding the canyons and I target fixated on something, a stupid corner that gets me every time.
Every time.
And I have that one story that I tell all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
I
have
don't know
one
what
like
it is
that.
about this damn corner. There's nothing about it. It's a turnout. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
But it's a quick flick. It's a quick flick right and then left, and the left is what gets me every freaking time.
I have one of those
And-
on Banner Grade.
Ah,
If you're heading out
Banner.
towards
yeah.
Banner,
down,
so you go
down
through
or up?
Julian and you go out to Banner Grade.
and you go back down.
Yeah, I'm going down,
Uh-huh.
and on the way, like halfway through Banner Grade, there's a campsite off to the left,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a clean and sober event that goes on out there every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So on my way out to that, I'm between Julian and the campsite, headed out. There's this one turn that's a left-hand turn, and there's a giant fucking orange sign that says left 20 miles per hour.
Uh-huh.
Every year, I see that sign, and I fixate on it, and then go, fuck, I gotta look left. And I damn near run off the road every year. Every single time. And I know it's there. I know it's coming. And so when I leave Julian, I'm like, I'm going to not fuck up this turn. And then when I get to it, I go, that's the sign. Every year. I don't know why. And then sometimes I'll do it twice because I get there Friday and then I go back to Julian on Saturday during like the lunch hour to go get a piece of pie because Julian has the best pie.
Yes, they do.
You got to go to Julian Pie Company. You get the
That's
apple
why I
pie
got
with a
the
slice
bike
of
with the pie
cheese.
box on the back.
Oh, bro, you get the apple pie and you get the cheese on the side. And for those of you that don't know this, apple pie and cheddar cheese, they go together
They
like
go
peanut butter and
together.
jelly, bro.
Yes, they do.
It's bomb as fuck.
Or vanilla.
So then,
I
I'm in
went to
Julian, so I
Julian.
got to go
Or
back to
cream
the
cheese.
campsite.
Yeah.
So I see the sign again. So sometimes I do it twice in the same weekend. Like every time, I know that sign is gonna get me.
It's because you're not concentrating on writing.
I'm not. I'm fucking thinking about that sign
I
Right.
tell
Pie.
students, I
Right.
say, look, you can make
Target
little-
every
Precision.
time.
There's no such thing as
So,
being a
so where that
perfectionist
sign's
writing.
at, my mom used to own the diner just right by there. The
Okay.
diner on the left-hand side.
Yeah, yeah.
As you're going down. My mom used to own that diner.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, we
Cool
lived
story.
in Julian for several
Yeah.
years.
That's a
awesome.
cool little
I
town,
like
man.
Julian. That's a
Yeah,
nice
Julian
little
But
is
town.
awesome
I can
town.
tell you from
Good for
experience,
breakfast.
if you're gonna show up with your club, don't be dicks.
Don't be dicks.
Because the
no.
people that live in Julian will fucking shoot you. They don't play, dude. You show up with 8 or 9 guys and you're all wearing patches acting like hard asses, they will fuck you up.
America.
They'll come out with shotguns, be like, hey, you need to leave. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, no joke. It's funny as shit because when I go out there, it's a bunch of clean and sober clubs. So they're really respectful and they're really cool and they don't get into like rowdiness and shit. But I've been out there with other clubs that were not sober and they fucked around and they got caught up. Like, those shop owners, dude, they're all strapped. They don't fuck around.
right?
It's awesome.
America.
Yeah,
America.
it's dope. I'm like, that's
say
one of
it,
those.
say it.
America.
Say it.
Come on, Mike.
Come on, America.
Come on, Mike. You're America,
Let's see
Mike.
it.
Come on.
Let's hear it.
Say America.
America.
There you
Yeah.
go.
It sounds best when he says it.
So yesterday, the best thing when Lee
Closer.
was giving out all
Closer.
the awards.
Closer.
When Lee was giving out all the awards.
I like it.
Now stroke his arm. Let's get this right.
Yeah, I like it. Perfect.
And he's all, "Where's it made? America."
America.
Yeah.
I thought it was really funny because
So-
when the CHP guy stood up, and like, and where is he made?
America.
Yeah. It
It's
was
fun.
I have to say, I mean, I've only been instructing for 2 years. This is my second PDW,
Yeah.
and it was by far my favorite. I mean, there was no stress. Everything was very informational and fun, and it really helped. I think all for new instructors, helped them see the light a little bit better, and maybe better ourselves a little bit. You know.
Well,
So,
and then also the things about PDW is to continue our
Certification.
our well, not our but our knowledge in deliverance of
deliverance,
the,
yeah, definitely
of the
yeah.
curriculum,
Yeah.
and which is the sole part of the QAVs. When if you get dinged, don't take it to heart. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, look,
Yeah.
just kind of correct this. That's
Yeah.
fine. You're good to go.
Well, it's the same thing we
but
tell our
remember,
students. Like, we
all
have
it says,
to
you know
Keep it
what?
in mind.
Was RTFC?
Yeah.
read the fucking
Read
cards.
the fucking
Read
cards.
the fucking
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
That's what it boils
and those
down to,
instructors
really.
that are fucking
You know?
Read the
listening,
fucking
just
cards.
you know what? Go down to you and which I like Colleen's.
Look at the fucking card.
I
It says
I
what
went
to
back
coach.
and because she went around the whole class.
Yeah.
Right.
She did
And
that.
she's like, okay, so what'd you get out? What'd you get out? You know, blah, blah. And I says, you know what? It's because, when you teach, especially as long as I have, you get into, you do it right here.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you start to stray.
Yep.
And you kind of
you add
slide
your
off a
own-
little bit. And I said,
you
you know what?
ad-lib.
You have to. I says, I know that I have to mentally go back and every couple of weeks and just keep myself on track.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not a saint. I never said
Well,
I was a saint.
Colleen's
you know?
Colleen's spiel was pretty cool too, because I didn't realize how much the cadence or tempo of my voice impacts the student. So just simple stuff, like when I was talking about breaks earlier, telling them to squeeze or squeeze.
right.
That difference translates into their hand, how fast or slow they squeeze that lever. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah, how about
I didn't notice that.
Well,
and then I tried it today, and it was working. I was like, oh.
and that goes from exercise 11.
Yeah.
When you push, don't
what
go
to coach?
push.
Yeah.
Go push. You know what I mean?
How about
And
14? How about
it's
straight and
different. And
break?
I got that from
If you-
Axe,
if you-
and Axe was an excellent instructor.
What if you straighten and break? You fling your arms up really fast. What are you going to get?
They fall down every fucking
grab
time.
the brake.
Right.
Stop.
I warn my students
For the
beforehand.
straight and then break?
Yeah. And
Oh,
I,
yeah,
and I-
dude.
and I tell them, I said, look,
I emphasize
This is-
traction.
this is our most crass exercise, and I said, I'm not saying it to scare you. I'm asking you, please straighten the motorcycle first and then brake. I said, we're going to be practicing this tomorrow, so please work with me. I said,
Trust me on this.
I don't want to see you all go down, and I really don't like to do paperwork. So please,
Well, of course, also you
ambulance
can
sirens scare
elaborate
me.
when
Yeah,
when you're
right,
going
right.
through classroom on the levers when you go over break.
yeah,
There should be redundancy. The classroom is the foundation when they come out to the range.
yes,
If
for
they're
sure.
having a struggle, hard time in the range, typically you can think about who was in the classroom and what happened there. Or
Yeah.
not happened, I should
Like,
say.
what did they
Right.
not say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So something didn't go
Yeah.
right there, which translates out in the range.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
I say a lot in the class, and I mean,
Which
I-
you
I-
should.
Yeah, that's
You
the
know,
that's the point
Which
to do
you
it.
should.
Yeah, I add a lot of relativity, one of Axe's words.
Relativity.
I list. He has a lot of those big words, you know.
The $10
Um,
words.
right,
Yeah.
yeah. the
Word a day
$10
calendar type words.
Exactly.
I love it.
And but it really does translate out to the range.
when
you
you
know,
said
they think
push,
about
I'm
it. It gives them
thinking
something to think
onomatopoeia.
about when as they go home and come to the range the next day.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Can
Right.
you,
That's
Chris,
exactly.
in your-
Yeah.
In your classroom, can you move around from with the clicker? Can you walk around the room?
Oh, yeah.
And still click. And
Oh, I like
okay.
doing
'Cause
that.
yeah, for sure.
especially Friday nights, the students.
Yeah, they're dozing.
Snoozing.
They're-
Yeah,
Well,
they're
they're
dozing.
tired. Yeah.
Yeah, so
We
I'll go
do
walk
ours
behind
Thursday.
Them. I'll be if Justin's, I'll stand right behind him and go. So you know, like they always wake up and the instructor.
Yeah, when you're near 'em.
When you're near them, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So now that we got the students woken up, we do have to call it for a day.
Fine.
Oh man.
And
vey.
I'm getting the signal.
We still have
So
time
you
for
know
that.
we have to. I can't even hear a word you're saying.
It's 9
I'm
o'clock.
a freaking dumbass. All right.
Yeah,
You got to get near the mic there,
Put
Put your
Lena.
Lena.
lips on it, baby.
Put your lips on
Because
it.
I'm looking at the clock right there.
Okay, well, it's funny. I have to press the thing to put the mic on.
Yeah, you sure do.
Anyways, so we are going to end the night. How about that?
All right,
Very good.
But
Fine.
but we can continue on.
here's the thing. Bernard gave me permission. So starting after we end, it's back-to-back of Mo and Allie. 2 shows. Because, you know,
Mo
Monique
and
and
Ellie.
Oh, Mo and Allie.
Monique and I basically have only had 2 shows on the station. We did 3, but 2 shows where we got ourselves in trouble.
Hey, we missed the hand. We
All right.
need a couple of hand.
How about
Well,
this?
very
Fuck
good.
you.
Fuck
But yeah,
you.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
By the way,
Fuck
say
you.
by the way, say Ferris December 1st, House of Blues, Unwritten Law, and Untouchables.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to go check that out.
That's a good show.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Monique's-
Unwritten Law.
Yeah. Zig, you want to tell him that, you know, she's a good person at the station?
She is.
Yeah.
Yep. She is.
That was it.
Punk rock, baby.
Not even punk rock. It's fucking ska and bullshit.
Ska.
and stuff.
It's ska, punk rock, and so same.
So, yeah,
shit.
next
Oh,
week
like
I
the
will not be
voodoo
here,
glow
but-
skulls.
Oh my
Whatever it
god.
is. Anyways, though, you know what? I want everybody out there to ride and be safe. You know, make sure that you do your P's and Q's, and
And
there is
that
an
too.
advanced course November 10th and 11th. Just go on to totalcontroltraining.net. It's at SoCal Motorcycle Training. And
you can also find us on
me,
Facebook, SoCal Motorcycle Training Inland Empire.
And
That
you
is
can
correct.
listen to the commercials
And-
on Kaotic Radio.
Yep.
And AvengersCycleWorks.com.
And
Yeah,
there you go.
Cycle Works,
So,
yes.
anyways, everybody out there, just be safe and keep it shiny side up, rubber
Peace
side
out.
down, and we will see you guys next week. See you.
And now
See
here's
ya.
Zig's favorite band, the Spice Girls.
Oh
Spice Girls.
God.
Oh, yeah, Betty.